phone. If you want to be a wise guy, you can do it anywhere. If you want to be a strong man, you can do it anywhere. If you want to be an Indian chief, cowboy, you can do it in the ring. You can't do it in the mall. The most electrifying line in sports entertainment today. If you smell what the Rock is cooking, hate me if you can survive if I let you. I'm figuring and thinking that nothing's gonna stop the Macho Man Randy Savage now. I'm the man. I'm the icon. And yes, you can't bow. I am God.
The number one show on the net that leads to the best in your head like Goldberg Net. For the punks and the perverts, this is how it works with Terry Funk and Knox Baker. Check Ishman and Barbie, they got the cheap seats, so sit back and have a seat. They got questions from the fans, in your head is the band from Australia to Japan. Straight down the road, old shit back to up the Mississippi.
We are bigger, we are faster, and we are all night long. All you idiots, punks, perverts, and fools, be sure and tune in and listen to this show. www.inyourheadonline.com.
All right, we're live here once again at In Your Head Wrestling Radio. I'm the internet icon, the pride of the Pilgrims, the most honest man in all of podcasting, handsome Jackie Jones, along with my right-hand man, my audio soulmate, and the enforcer of the Headyverse.
1 inch biceps, the power go, bah! How about that, Jack? Huh?
Very powerful, very powerful.
Yeah.
And he may be wondering right now why he's here, but we have with us the ECW original, one of the original Dudleys, Chubby Dudley. It's very good.
The original ECW original.
Exactly.
How about that?
I would be very proud of that.
I am. Believe me, I am.
Yeah.
There's not many of us that can say that.
Right, because you're part of ECW and before it was Extreme.
Yes.
Eastern Championship Wrestling,
I was Eastern, and then I came back and got Extreme.
What besides the obvious, but what was the difference between the two companies when you were there?
Oh my God, you went from the drizzle and shits to fucking amazing. I mean, seriously. I mean, even before we had TV, I was not a fan of the product. I didn't think it was any good. Coming out of the Tri-State Wrestling Alliance, that I thought was amazing. And then we went in the Eastern Championship Wrestling, and I thought it was just not good. And then, when Gilbert came in, I thought it was going to be the greatest thing ever. And then I was one of the casualties that got let go, which I understand. I totally get it. Now I get it, and it took some time for me to get it. But, I sucked.
So did you talk to Eddie at all? Did you have any interaction with him?
Very minimal, just on show days.
What brought you back to when it becomes Extreme Championship Wrestling?
The Dudley gimmick had started already, and I had seen it, and I had said to myself, I was like, oh shit, I look like a Dudley. Like I could totally pass as a Dudley. And a luck for me, and also for Dances with Dudley, but bad luck for Little Snot. I think he did one weekend of shows and was in a car accident and was going to be out for a while. It was in bad wreck from what I remember. And Steve Richards, who I went to wrestling school with, called me up. He said, hey, we got this Dudley gimmick. I think you'd be perfect for it. I said, please get me in. So he said, come to the Philly Marriott after the shows this weekend. I'll introduce you to Paul, and we'll see what happens. And I'm in the lobby talking with Richards, and in walks Paul, and he sees us, and he comes over. He goes, "Oh my God, another fucking Dudley." It was as simple as that.
Yeah,
I just
and
had
I assume
those
you
good
weren't in
looks.
tie dye and the glasses at the time. You were just you.
Well,
You
I
just
wear glasses normally, so I
oh
was good like that. But I was like probably wearing most likely like a concert shirt or something, like I usually wear.
yeah.
And yeah.
No, was there a buzz for ECW at that
Oh,
period?
absolutely. I mean, major buzz. Um, it had grown tremendously in it was about 2 years from the
Yeah,
time that I was out as one of the Hell Riders to the time I went back to the Dudleys. In that 2 years time, in those early days of Eastern Championship Wrestling, and you could watch them on the WWE Network. I mean, the very start of the TV product, it was bad, and you could tell Eddie, he was dealing with the talent roster that he had, and he was trying to figure out what he had and what he could do. And as each week goes on, you're seeing less and less and less of the guys and more of Eddie's guys and more big name guys come in. And it makes total sense. And it took him, I say, a good 6 months up until the point where he ended up leaving. It was starting to get on a roll and there was a real buzz starting to happen. But, once they did the whole angle with turning extreme and throwing the belt down, I mean, that just instantly catapulted it through the roof and just changed everything. And they were backing it up. It was a right place, right time moment for the whole extreme era, the extreme attitude, taking everything to the extreme, including the wrestling business. The wrestling business was in the shitter between WWF at the time and WCW. It was both just had horrible products, and along came this bunch of lunatic, wild renegades that just didn't give a fuck, and they took it to the extreme, and they gave the wrestling business a shot in the ass that it really needed, and changed everything.
yeah. So I graduated in '94, and I was like one of the only people who liked wrestling in my high school. And then like a couple years later is when ECW really, and I was like totally into it. Like you said, it's everything. The time it's the music and everything. And I don't
And
think any
a very,
wrestling company that I feel like so emotionally attached to.
the music was such a vital, important part of it too. That created the whole product of it. Was those the music, the ring entrances, the run-ins with the music playing, everything. It was just such a perfect product placement of music, extreme attitude, like the wrestling, and on top of it, the storylines were just so fucking. Everything was just extreme. Those storylines were so over the top and hardcore that nobody was doing anything like that. So it just took things to such, through the roof levels. It just didn't. Nobody's seen stuff like that. So it was, 30 years later, and reasons why I'm talking to guys like you, and I'm doing shows constantly because so many people, like you said, have that emotional connection to ECW, and they just can't get enough of it.
Yeah, I think that's actually one thing people overlook when they try to like do a new show and like, oh, it's the new ECW. And I think a lot of times they really focus on the hardcore and the blood. And obviously that was part of ECW, but I think why people still will chant ECW for anyone that was ever there forever is because you just felt emotionally connected to them. And I remember when they got on pay-per-view, it was you felt like, oh, like you felt you were part of the company. And
Yeah.
like oh wow, we're on pay-per-view now.
Well, that was a big thing too. Like for the people out that arena crowd, especially, they were just as much a part of the company as the locker room. They made, again, that perfect synergy that was going on between the locker room, the fans on the other side of the guardrail, the music, like everything just was right place, right time. But those fans were so hardcore, as in dedicated. They were so dedicated and supporting of the ECW product and believed, because a lot of them especially were there from day one, and they were even there before from day zero with the
Right.
Tri-State Wrestling Alliance, and they saw Goodhart and the Tri-State Wrestling Alliance go under, and that was truly ECW before ECW was what Goodhart was doing, and people need to learn really about what Joe Goodhart did and the Tri-State Wrestling Alliance, and really realize where Extreme came from, because that's where it came from. It wasn't those early days of Eastern Championship Wrestling with Todd Gordon. It was with Joe Goodhart and ECW or Tri-State Wrestling Alliance.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Todd Gordon?
It's funny. So back in the day, I always liked Todd. I liked Todd early on. I was a young kid. He gave a green young kid a chance that I'll be forever indebted to. But when I got let go by Gilbert, as a 23-year-old kid who was there from the beginning of ECW and was helping behind the scenes, I was helping doing promotions and stuff like that. I was fucking furious. I was very, very angry and bitter at Todd, and I blamed him because I felt like, why couldn't you stick up for me? Why couldn't you say something? Why couldn't you help me stay? Not thinking like, hey, you suck. You're not ready for it. Like when I watch that stuff now, like I cringe because I'm just like, I was just so not ready for prime time. I was not ready for TV. I didn't deserve to be there. So I get it. But at the time, I was very angry at Todd and blamed Todd. But then when I came back as a Dudley, Todd was like a different person now. Because now Todd, and if he hears this, he'll probably call me and break my balls because that's what he does now. I say he went from, I'm sorry, Todd, I'm going to say it. I say he went from this nerdy guy who now was like a fucking rock star 2 years later,
Right.
and he's one of the boys now. And it was just a totally different environment. And then again, when I left again, I didn't blame Todd because I knew at that point Todd really had no say in what Paul was doing. But years later, I mean, after I went through stages where I fell out of love with ECW, but then I fell back in love. And I now I'm to the point where I love Todd. I really do. I have not read the book yet, and he keeps.
I haven't either, but I actually would like to. But yeah.
Yeah, he keeps asking me to.
Yeah.
I've reconnected with Todd over my YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
He's reached out to me a few times about some things. He really doesn't even want me to say that, but it's not a big deal. I'm not saying what we talked about, but we talked. I'll say we talked, and it was nice to talk to him now as an adult, not a green kid in trying to make something in the wrestling business and not even knowing shit about life at that point at 23 to 25 years old. Now at 54, talking to him as a man, two men talking, was very, very nice. It was very, 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 very. I think he even maybe found a new respect for me too, because I'm not that kid no more.
Yeah. So, going back to when you go back to ECW, now it's Extreme, and all the Dudleys. You're gonna be the new Dudley. Who comes up with the name Chubby?
Paul. So when I met Paul that night with Richards, he said to me, he says, "What do you want your gimmick to be?" And I always wanted to do like a gorgeous Jimmy Garvin gimmick. I was a gorgeous Jimmy Garvin mark, and with the hair and everything, and I always wanted to come out fluffing my hair, like gorgeous Jimmy, and I was like Studley Dudley. And he said, "Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's like, "Absolutely not going to happen."
No.
I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "Get a tie-dye, show up next weekend, bring food, you're Chubby Dudley." I'm like, "All right."
Yeah.
That's how it started.
Yeah. And was there any like besides that, like bring this? Was there any like guidelines, like how, what you would do when you're out there?
It was more or less, go out there. Here's your spot. Go in, take a chair shot. Feed for this and do this and help this get over and stuff like that.
Did you think you would be more of a in-ring wrestler at that point?
Yes.
Or?
I totally went into the whole thing under the impression I was going to be a worker. I was going to be working in the ring, not outside the ring. And I was given the chance one time to work a match, and it wasn't even with the Dudleys. They had in Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania. They had Bad Crew was doing the opening match, and they had them working. What were they calling him? El Puerto Ricano. Pablo. It was going to be Pablo, and they needed somebody else, and they came to me and said, "Chubby, you want to do it?" So I didn't want to say no. So I said, "Yeah, of course." They're like, "All right, you guys work the opening match, and Sandman's going to come out and cane you." So I was like, "All right, whatever." And Hack came over to me and pulled me aside because I knew Hack from day one in the wrestling business. We went to wrestling school together and everything. He said to me, he goes, "Chubby," he goes, "you don't fucking belong out there." He goes, "Feed to me first. When I hit that ring, I'm going to give you one whack. Take it, take a powder, and get the fuck out of there. I'm going to beat the shit out of these guys." And that's what he did. As I was walking back up the aisle to go back to the locker room, I was hearing the fucking carnage in the ring.
Yeah. Well, since you went to school with Sandman, what was that like to even see like you talk about ECW blowing up, but it goes from like the surfing guy to like the hottest entrance in wrestling.
It's so like mind-blowing. It really is, because I always knew there was something there with Hack, but I knew it was not that fucking gimmick. That surfer gimmick was not over at all. At all. and I used to just be like, man, it was like painful. Like, so I don't know how he put up with it for the first, 3 years of his career, 4 years of his career. It was painful. But he was starting to gain ground because there was something about him. He was starting to work in Memphis and stuff. So when he was able to start just being himself, it was, I mean, like you said, the greatest entrance in wrestling. It really is.
Yeah, it was amazing. And I mean, is he the best wrestler? No, but he had so much charisma and was just fun to like. He had an aura about him. He just had the it factor. It was like, this is a guy I like.
He always had that it factor, and once he was able to put it into the true shoot gimmick of himself, I mean, it was just worked wonders. But also too, he's a guy who would have done anything for the company of ECW as well. He's not the best in-ring technical wrestler or worker, but he might be the most devoted and technical that way. He would fucking do anything to put that fucking company over.
So the original core group, when you come into the Dudleys, were they like welcoming to you? Were they happy to have another member?
Absolutely. It was my first night. Me and Dances with Dudley, we started the first night, and it was Dudley, Big Dick, Dances with Dudley, and myself. And I think Sign Guy might have been in the crowd at that point, or started very soon after. Like, he was a plant in the crowd at first.
Oh, so he was a plant. He wasn't an actual fan that came with it. I didn't know that. So that's actually pretty cool.
Because there was the guy in the stands, heavyset guy. I don't remember what his name was, but he usually sat like right in the front row, and you would always see him in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, and he would hold signs up. You'd see him on TV every week, and he wasn't getting fed what was going on, but he fucking knew somehow. And he was like holding the signs up and shit. So they were like, they got Lou to be like a shoot on him.
I love that. And it is weird too. ECW, like a lot of the audience members are famous. It's like the guy with the hat, and
That guy works in the business now. It's crazy. He's a manager for some promotions in Pennsylvania.
well, that's pretty wild.
Oh,
I
that's
actually didn't know.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you there when Dances with Dudley got in a fight with New Jack?
I don't know. Was I?
Okay.
I'm trying to. It's funny. This conversation came up. I started doing this thing on my Facebook channel, Ask Chubby, and I tell people to drop a question and I'll give a video answer. And somebody asked me that last week, and they were explaining the details about it, and I was kind of like, I don't remember it, but I remember it. And actually, last summer, which was the first time I talked on the phone to Adolfo in 30 years. We talked last summer for about an hour because people been wanting to, do some bookings with us and stuff. And there was another deal I got him hooked up with. And he was explaining the whole thing to me. And I was like, I don't remember it. When he was telling me, I'm like, I don't remember. But when these other people were telling me, I was like, that sounds familiar. So now I know it was in Jim Thorpe. I need to find out those results. If I know the date and the results, I would know if I'm there or not.
Yeah. But the incident doesn't stand out to you then.
Yeah, if it's not standing out to me, I don't think it was that bad.
Yeah.
Because I remember the New Jack incident with Pillman like it was yesterday. I mean, that stands out to me. Maybe because Pillman, he had the rods going through his legs, and that freaked me out. And I was like, this guy's fucking crazy. He's wanting to fight New Jack, and he's got steel rods going through his legs. So I really need to do that. I really need to do the search of the results and see if I was there or not.
What's that incident like? So you have Pillman has been around, so he's like a quote unquote big star, and then you have the homegrown guy New Jack, and they're fighting. So what's the feeling like backstage, or wanting to fight?
It was instant. As soon as Pillman came backstage, he was doing a promo in the ring, and he came backstage, and as soon as he came through the curtain, New Jack jumped him. So it was an instant, oh fuck, pull apart. And Pillman did not back down one iota, and he was ready to go. And the whole Pillman, Pillman was only there for a minute for a couple shots. But I remember with that whole gimmick, I just kept saying to myself, I'm like, I think he lost his mind. I think he legit lost his mind. And I still say to this day, I look at him at that time, and you look in his eyes, he looks crazed. And I'm guessing it was because of all the drugs he was on. But when I saw that, and I was right dead in the middle of that pull apart, I was like, this is one of the most insane things I ever saw in my life.
Yeah. And what was what are your thoughts on New Jack?
I love New Jack. I absolutely love Jack. We always got along. I never had a problem with him. There was an incident at the Travel Eyes where a dude broke into his room like an idiot. Of all people's rooms you want to break into is fucking New Jack's. And I backed up New Jack because I was in the room next door, and I heard all this commotion and came out. And I think really from that point on was when Jack had a respect for me because I had his back. So,
yeah. I mean, not that we worked with him, but we had New Jack on a lot, and he was always really nice to us and very funny guy. So I always liked him a lot.
He was a guy that, if he liked you, I mean, he will fucking love you to death. If he doesn't have an ounce of respect for you, look out.
Right. Yeah. For people who want to find it on the archives, I don't know if you ever saw the picture that he had of Brian Knobbs mooning him he has a very big butthole. It's very strange. And anyway, he broke it on In Your Head, and then it blew up all over the internet after. It was very strange.
Let me ask you a question, because
Yeah.
I see your intro and you got all these huge names that you've had on as past guests, and there's a whole new world in the world of wrestling podcasting where everybody now wants to charge you to be on your show.
Yeah, it's well, what were you gonna ask, and then I'll answer.
Are you also being asked?
Yeah, that's what resulted in the last several years. We used to have guests every week for the first, I don't know, 15 years or something, and then it just started to less and less because I stopped asking people, because even people I knew that we had on the show before, I'd ask them like, "Oh, you want to come back on and plug whatever?" And they'd be like, "Yeah." And then I'd give them dates, and then at the end they'd be like, "Oh, they want like $500." And I'm like, "Oh no, we don't, pay the guests." And some, I get it. They'd be nice. They'd be like, "Well, all these other people, that's what they pay, so I'm not gonna." So I get that, but it has changed your show a lot. Now it's mostly Intra and I like going over the wrestling, and then the fans calling.
Yeah, it's a whole different ballgame. Well, something else I learned too, because I've been out of the wrestling business loop for 20 years. So once I restarted my channel and I started doing these interviews, I've been able to talk to a lot of the old original.
Which is really cool. People should check those out because you have a lot of like rare interviews, honestly. Like Iron Man, Tommy Cairo, and
Right.
people you're not hearing from all the time.
Exactly. So when I was getting ready to interview the old referee Gigolo Joe Zanoli, he was telling me, because he was the booker for ECWA out of Jersey and Delaware for last 7-8 years, whatever it was, that now the new gimmick is that the fans are sponsoring wrestlers to where they will pay the wrestler like $500 for the month, which means they're now sponsored, and the promoter doesn't have to pay them because they're sponsored by the fans. It's a whole weird. I don't understand.
I know you also you promote a wrestling show, so that's I don't know how that affects you or anything. So that's very weird.
I'm very confused by the whole what's going on in the wrestling business right now. It's weird. It's very weird.
Yeah, because when we started doing the shows 2005, and there really wasn't, the podcast term wasn't around yet, and like the other shows that were around were shows that were on actual radio, and then they were putting their shows on the internet too. And at that time, we had people mad at us because we didn't go to broadcasting school, and we were getting Terry Funk and
right
on the show. and then now it's different. Now it's everyone's paying a substantial amount of money. It's weird. Then I don't really know how they make the money back. I guess maybe just the ads on them. I'm not really sure.
But on the flip side, like I get it from the wrestler standpoint, because
I get like if someone else is going to pay me $500, why am I going to do this one for free? I get that.
Yeah, and plus too, it's something that started with the whole shoot interview thing. People like Feinstein and High Spots and whoever else doing these interviews that they were releasing for sale. These guys were getting paid to do that. So
then really these kind of shows then kind of ruin that, because it's like who's gonna buy a tape, unless it's something like someone who really has never done an interview before. It's very when they first came out, they were huge for me. I've talked about them on the show because it was like, oh wow, I get to hear like an actual interview with someone. Like there'd be like some of those Jim Cornette tapes that were like leaked out from things, but there really wasn't shoot interviews. I remember, and it's not a good shoot interview, but I was really excited when Abdullah the Butcheress came out, because that was like a guy like you would never think that an interview. It was not good, but it was exciting
interesting.
To hear it was out there. But and in the 90s, that's how I watched a lot of the ECW stuff, was through tape trading.
Sure.
Was but it was on, I'm in Massachusetts, it was on a channel 27, which was a Spanish channel, at 2 a.m. and Saturday night, Sunday morning, I guess technically. And I would, I'd stay up every night to watch it. And I remember when they canceled it, I was like, and I can't imagine me doing this today, but at the time I was calling up the Spanish channel wondering why the ECW, like, why isn't it on? And yeah. And then I
That's
found out later it
hysterical.
was canceled. But I was like really, disappointed at the time.
Man, those tape trading days were fun. I will say that.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
I was by my big thing was Smoky Mountain. I had collected every TV show of Smoky Mountain. I was also getting USWA stuff. I was going back. I had gotten the whole TV collection of Bill Watch UWF, the Mid South, like months of the end of Mid South leading into the change to UWF. What else was I getting? I guess that was about it. I had ECW because I was in Philly, so I was lucky.
Right. Yeah, and it's weird now because like all that stuff's at your fingertips, and it's like, well, now I don't really need to watch all of it now. But I imagine if I was a kid today, like it would be just, I don't know if I would just, if that's all I would watch, because I would try to watch everything I could possibly see up until not that long ago.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And I still like where I like AEW. I know some people hate it, but Intra and I enjoy it.
I haven't really even watched it yet. I'm still like, all I've been watching. Okay, this is the new argument now. I'm hearing people are upset over the term pay-per-view, or what is it? PLE.
Yeah, I can never remember it. I think I'll probably just always say pay-per-view out of that's what it is to me. But
yeah, what does PLE stand for?
Intra, it's like
A
live event, premium live event.
That's
Premium
it.
live event. That's it.
Yeah.
Premium live event. It sounds lame.
Yeah. PPV is.
I prefer pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, you're still paying to view it because you're paying for the network.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It is crazy though. I would get all the pay-per-views, and when there was, so in the 90s you had WCW and WWE doing one every month, and then ECW, I don't know if they did 4 a year or whatever. And I can't imagine like I would do that today, buy like 3 pay-per-views in a month.
Right? Like, yeah, remember it would automatically go into your cable bill. So, I mean, how much do they charge for pay-per-views now?
Well, the AEW ones are $50. The WWE ones, I guess they still sell them as traditional pay-per-views, because I'll see like Meltzer will talk about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, the only thing I can imagine is if you just don't have like internet access, maybe you'd buy them.
Yeah,
But I don't know.
Interesting. And how about like, because didn't TNA do one recently?
Oh yeah, because they did one when they first went back to TNA, and it did actually really well for them. And then they fired Scott D'Amore, and I guess it went from like 20-something thousand to 500. It went.
I was gonna say, I heard it was like a couple of hundred buys. I was like,
Yeah,
that's bad.
that's really weird, because that was the first time in years that TNA had like an actual buzz about it, and then they get rid of the guy that was like responsible for it.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know.
Yeah, it was. I was happy. I really don't watch TNA, but I was happy that people were into it.
Yeah, I mean, I hope good for everybody. I hope TNA.
Yeah, that's the
rises
one thing I
up.
really don't understand are some of the wrestlers who do podcast, and a lot of the fans who, like, if you don't like a show, I get that, but like they actively want it to go out of business, and I was like, I don't want anyone to lose their job or anything.
See, that's
I could
the
just not
thing,
watch
though.
it.
The people don't look at it as like this is a job. This is their career. This is how they make a living and support their family. They're just like, they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
They're thinking it's like a real life video game come to life or something.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. So someone had asked the question intro about Bubba, if you want to ask that one.
Oh yeah. Boring Banana here in the chat room. He wants to know, was Bo Ray Dudley cool with you, or was he a dick? Because I heard he has a reputation as being a dick in real life behind the scenes.
With me, again, was always cool. Never had a problem with him. I would love to talk to him. Haven't talked to him in It's an easy 15 years or more.
Like not even
Wow.
at a convention or anything you run into him?
I have not run into him at a convention. I ran into Devon about after I met you at the one in Rhode Island. Devon was appearing at Wizard World Comic Con in Philly a few weeks before I came to Nashville for the first time. So I went to go talk to Devon and reconnected with him. And he actually he ended up being a guest on my show that I used to do then, and we did an interview with him. But yeah, we were great. We talked, about everything, and he never knew what happened to me, why I left, and all. And I explained everything, and he was kind of shocked, and but what again, like those guys were given the ball and ran with it, and they did things way beyond I could have ever done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
So
one of the gimmicks that a handful of them did go on after ECW, but the Dudley Boys were like a top tag team everywhere they went for decades
yeah,
after that.
yeah. Like I did an appearance here this past weekend at Nashville Comic Con, and the guy that booked me, he had a picture of Bubba and Devon holding like all the belts that they had won.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they have like they're holding like 10 tag team belts each. So I mean, they everywhere they went, they won belts. They could be, the greatest tag team of all time. They really could
I
be.
honestly have them up there as one of my favorites. Longevity. They have all these over everywhere.
Yeah.
To me, they're entertaining. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And that was the thing too. On top of it, beside their in-ring ability, I mean, they were entertaining as fuck.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah. Devon get the tables. Everyone knows it. Was up all the spots. Everyone
Yeah.
goes crazy for. So if people don't know, so it was the Dudleys, and you had Bubba Ray he was doing the stuttering gimmick then, and then Devon comes in and he wants to make the Dudley Boys like serious and take away the comedy. He's hitting like Chubby and these guys with the chair. So was there like did they give you like an idea of where this was going? Like were you ever going to feud or anything?
No. That's I was never privy to the conversations. I'm sure Bubba and Devon were, because they were coming from New York. Mm-hmm. And I know like they would ride together at times with Paul or Tommy or Taz. So they were more on the inside. I lived 15 minutes from the arena. So I would just drive and show up to the arena and boom. And I would get there and be told, what we're doing that night. And that's like, I didn't know the long distance plan. I didn't know nothing. I did not know nothing.
Yeah. So after that happens, does how far after that do you leave, and what like kind of changes for you in the company?
It was after Spike came is when I left. Because at that time I was like, I was a little salty because, I mean, I wanted to work. I did want to work, and I was getting tired of just going out there and being part of the fluff and part of the sideshow. And when Spike came in and he worked a match his first night, that it fucking infuriated me. It just set me off because, and it's nothing against Spike at all. And he said, no, I would love to talk to him. I have no hard feelings with anybody. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, come on. It's like so stupid now. But in 1996, I was pissed off like a motherfucker because he comes in the first night, gets a match, and then as we're talking back in the locker room, he's telling me how he lives in California. So I'm thinking in my head, because also too, I'm a promoter and I'm promoting shows at this time. I'm like, they fucking flew him in from California. They got to put him up in a hotel for 2 nights. And I live 15 minutes from the arena. So it was like, and then they're paying him on top of it. I'm like, okay, their writing is all on the wall there. So I think it was probably about a month, I think. And then I just stopped showing up. I didn't talk to nobody. I just stopped showing up.
Did it like anyone try to reach out to you or?
The only time somebody reached out to me was I started taking bookings, and I was very, very good close friends to Dennis Carluzzo of NWA New Jersey. And Dennis had been begging me for a year and a half. Come work for me, come work for me, come work for me. Please, please, please come work for me. And I said, fuck it. I'm going to go work for Dennis. So I went and worked for Dennis. And the first weekend, I worked Jason Knight. We worked a match, pinfalls anywhere in the building. And that Monday, I get a fucking phone call at work at the pizza shop I'm working at from Taz, threatening to come kick my ass.
Oh, jeez. So,
Yeah.
and what was like? I remember everyone. I'm not saying he isn't a tough guy, but everyone at that time really thought Taz was, legit, like, shoot fight guy.
Yeah, I was just like he threatens. He called me up at work, which I don't even know how to. He knew I was working at a pizza shop. I don't know how he knew where I worked because nobody really knew much about me. I mean, the only one that probably knew, was probably Richards. So I'm guessing Richards told him where I worked. But he threatened. He said if he finds out I'm doing the Dudley gimmick on the independents, he's going to come to the show and his exact words, I'm coming to the show and stretching your ass. And I was like, wait a minute. Like, you're going to come to a show and
just walk into the ring.
Are you literally going to stretch me out? Or are you just going to beat my, like, what was the plan here?
Yeah.
Like, I think it's hysterical now. And this story has been all through the wrestling news sites, especially in the last year. It got blown up, and I would love to fucking talk to Taz because I think it's hysterical, and I want to ask him. So, was the plan where you were going to come stretch me in the ring, stretch me in the locker room, in the parking lot, like, or were you just going to just attack me and beat my ass? Like, what was the plan?
Yeah. And you're talking, Todd Gordon's a different guy from Eastern to ECW and today. And from what I understand, Taz is a much different guy than he was then.
I'll tell you what, because he's in AEW, right? Doing,
yeah. Mm-hmm. He's a commentator there.
I didn't even know his son was. I had heard his son.
Oh yeah, Hook. Yeah,
Brooklyn and Hook and all.
Yeah.
So I was curious, and a few weeks ago, I pulled up a match. I don't even remember who he was working, but the kid impressed the fucking hell out of me.
Yeah, he is. As soon as he came out, people just gravitated to him. He has like this aura. He's got a lot of charisma, and he's fun to watch too. He's throwing people around and stuff.
Yeah, he's gonna be good. He already is good, but he's got a hell of a fucking career ahead of him. That kid.
Yeah, and you like he's talented, and you can't really teach charisma, but he just has this thing about him where fans right away were just really into him before he was really doing anything.
Yeah,
which was fun to watch. They used to chant like what was it? Get Hook? Was that intro or bring out Hook?
Yeah, we want Hook. Yeah.
That's the only thing like that rubs me wrong is the name, like Hook.
Yeah,
but
right.
But all right, I guess it can work. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do I know, right?
So someone did mention Jay Bradbury. It was the 6/10/95 was the date of the new Jack Dances with Dudley fight.
I had to be there. I absolutely had to be there. Do they have results? Was that the same show that I worked the opening match against Bad Crew? I wonder.
Let us know, Jay, if you know that, or if you can look it up. Interesting. So, did you just stop using the gimmick then after that?
Yeah. Stopped using the gimmick, and then I became the hotshot Bay Ragney, formerly known as Chubby Dudley.
They were all right with that.
And then I was sad. Then the joke was I'm going to use like a symbol. I was going to put like a cheeseburger up or a slice of pizza or something. Like, because the big thing at the time, Prince was no longer Prince. He was.
Right. Yeah. The artist formerly known as that would have been fun. Yeah. Have you seen Primo Luigi, actually, the wrestling pizza guy? He's a current wrestler. Very funny. I'm a big fan. very
Is that
entertaining.
the guy that makes the pizza in the ring that fucking spins the dough around?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying he's like, going to main event WrestleMania, but I find him very entertaining. So
He does a hell of a lot of, with the dough. It's impressive.
he does. And he has really great merchandise. He even
Really?
sells like pizza boxes with his name and stuff on. So,
That's hysterical.
yeah, I get a kick out of him. So,
That's awesome.
yeah. He was on AEW just a couple of appearances. I think Chris Jericho gets a kick at him because he just had him like behind him, like throwing pizzas in the air while he was doing promos.
Jericho loved my gimmick.
Oh,
Because
really?
he was the first one. Like every time I would get there, he would always be running over to me. What do you got to eat? What are we eating? What are we eating? And he even mentioned me in his first book. Like he loved the gimmick. And we were cool too. Like we would sit and talk music and all that shit. And same with Bubba. Like at one time, we were joking because I played guitar and Sign Guy played guitar. Bubba supposedly played drums. So we were like, well, we should start a band and have Raven as the singer. We just never got together and did anything with it.
Yeah, that's cool. And I'm a big Jericho fan. Another guy, he's been around, decades and always reinvents himself, which is cool. But I always see that he really has helped out. If a wrestler who's out of luck, needs some help with their surgeries, or unfortunately when people pass away and they need help, helps the family. And I always
he just did something recently. I saw that like this past week.
Yeah, I think maybe it's a different thing, but I saw Necro Butcher, because he like shattered his hip in Japan when he was teaming with Madman Pondo, and Jericho donated a lot of money to that.
Really?
But it might even be something else too.
Necro Butcher's still out there working. So's Pondo. I knew Pondo was.
Yeah. So they so we just had Pondo back on recently. He doesn't charge us. So but Pondo's a good guy.
Good man.
Right. And so they just did 2 tours of Japan together.
Pondo actually called me up after I left ECW and wanted to book me. And I was where's Pondo out of?
I'm not really sure, honestly. Probably somewhere in the Northeast, I think, but I'm not really sure where.
Yeah.
I think it was like the show was like in Detroit, wherever it was. It was somewhere in the middle of the country. And I never traveled by myself, and I was fucking scared shitless to do it. So I was like, he was like, can you get me anybody else? And I was like, yeah. So I like reached out to Meanie because I was close to Meanie. I said, hey, you want to go and work out? And he was like, oh yeah, but we just never, for some reason, it never materialized and came together. But which I'm probably kind of thankful for.
Yeah, it probably would have been like a death match tournament of some kind. Pondo's a really good guy, but
yeah.
So did you ever try to go back to ECW at any point?
No, because what had happened too, I had just gotten so disgusted and salty on the business, and you'll see towards the end of my run there as a Dudley, like I started cutting my hair shorter. I was also playing in my band at the time, and I cut my hair like halfway and I dyed it fucking red like Kurt Cobain in the Come As You Are video. And then I was like starting to get into a relationship, and I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to become a real person and get married and start a family. And that's what I did. And then 3 years later, I ended up starting to promote wrestling shows again.
And now, what's that been like? Actually, instead of, I don't know, do you still wrestle, and are you still like an on-air character when you're promoting shows?
I haven't promoted shows. I haven't done nothing with the wrestling business except for my podcast in 22 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like once, what happened was I started promoting again in '99 and went full blast. I was doing monthly shows, and then I was doing every 2 weeks, and then I was trying to do once a month, and I had 4 buildings lined up. I was going to start running a circuit for every building once a month, and I was losing a fucking fortune. And I lost so much money. And after 2002, I was sitting there one afternoon in my where my computer was in my kitchen, and I was trying to promote shows online at the time and stuff. And this was before social media. And there's a knock at my door, and the electric company's at my door. You haven't paid your bill, shutting off your electric. I was like, fuck. I wasn't paying my electric bill, so I was paying to fucking do wrestling shows. So yeah, that was the end of my wrestling promoting days.
So did you continue to, because you said, you're getting all these tapes, watching all the wrestling. Once you kind of lose the love of being a wrestler, did you also lose the love of watching wrestling at that point?
At that point, when I closed the doors of Liberty All-Star Wrestling, I pretty much closed the doors of wrestling in my life. Because at that point, and still, I'm the type of person, like, if I'm watching it, like, I get so sucked in, and it's like, I want to do it. I want to do it. I want to do it. I would just want to be involved. And thankfully, that I've started slowly watching it again here and there. These PLEs I'm watching now. I don't want to go full blast into the business.
Mm-hmm.
I do have something I'm involved with that I am working on. All I'm going to say is one and done. And once the contract is signed, then I will make the official announcement. But
All right. Well, that's
I was like writing a list out last night. There's like 5 major things involved with one and done that if it all works and comes together, it's going to be a fucking amazing thing. So we will see.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Lexar wants to know if you have any ECW locker room stories. I'm sure you do.
It's funny. Like, I used to just literally sit there, and I was always glued to the monitor, watching what was going on. And there was a crowd of us. We would be sitting around watching. So, I mean, there was really not a lot of craziness going on. It was kind of just like a family chilling and watching wrestling on TV, sitting around the monitor.
Mm-hmm.
The house shows were kind of nothing really major doing the house shows. But the most craziest thing, like I said, was the incident with New Jack and Pillman.
Mm-hmm.
But it was very interesting. At one time, both Austin and Cactus are there, and I used to purposely sit by them, by the monitor, watching, so I could hear their conversations, and because they were both in talks with Vince at the time, and they were both kind of like on the fence if they should do it. They didn't, because they didn't know if they could trust Vince. They didn't know what their characters would end up being, or
especially just after the last experience with WCW.
Exactly. So it was just very interesting sitting there behind those guys, where one eye is on the monitor, but my ears are in front of me, hearing what those guys are talking about.
Yeah. And to go back in time, like most people I don't think would have ever. Mick Foley's actually one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. After Piper when I was a kid, then it was Mick Foley. But I don't think really at that time anyone would have guessed he would go to WWE and become like a star. He did not fit that mold whatsoever.
Not at all. And then to see, like, they let him do his thing, and then to take it to such a level, with the whole 3 Faces of Foley, and he got to do everything, and everything he did turned to gold.
Yeah, it was just an amazing run. So much entertaining stuff, and But a lot of it was probably, they were getting beat by WCW, so they let people have more freedom to try to do stuff that they probably wouldn't do otherwise. So when you started doing the podcast, was that like after you start doing conventions, or like how did that come about?
So I was doing a podcast called Totally Driven Radio, and I did that for 8-9 years up until 2019 when I met you. I was still doing it.
Yeah.
And we used to do this was before the video world started during COVID. So it was
we were audio only until then too.
Yeah. So it was an audio only podcast, and we were live every Thursday night. It was me and my good friend Nick, who actually just fucking passed away last week.
Oh,
sorry.
Yeah, fucking unbelievable. I had 5 heart attacks 6 weeks ago, and he had a heart attack, and we both had stents put in. He had a heart attack 3 weeks ago, had his stent put in, and then last week he had a heart attack in the middle of the night. Didn't fucking wake up. Yeah. So we used to do a show every Thursday night, and it would be the first hour. I had a Hollywood reporter from Hollywood would call in with the top news stories of the week, and then I would do 3 celebrity interviews, and then in between the interviews, me and Nick would just talk about our lives. And we did that for 8 years, 350 episodes. And then I started going through a divorce, so I put the brakes on it. And then we hit COVID, and then my divorce was finalized, and then we restarted, but it just wasn't the same now because we were just doing interviews, and Nick never really participated in the interviews unless it was somebody from the world of TV, because that was his forte, was TV. But it was turning to mostly music. And I was kind of like, you know what, Nick, like, no offense, but I'm just going to rebrand it, and it's just going to be the Bay Raggedy Show, and I'm just going to do my interviews now. Because I felt bad, like he's just sitting there doing nothing.
Yeah.
He would literally be sitting there like this. So started doing that, and I became friends with a guy, Ryan Belcher, who Ryan played bass for Wednesday 13 from the Murder Dolls on Wednesday's first album and tour. He's a huge pop culture nerd, and also is a huge wrestling ECW fan. So about 1.5 years ago, he sends me a text at like 1-2 o'clock in the morning. Are you up? I got to talk to you. I'm like, yeah, what's up? You okay? He calls me. He's like, I got an idea. I said, okay. He's like, I came home from a gig. I've been laying here in bed watching ECW for the last 3 hours, and I keep saying to myself, what if I was watching this with Bay and heard what Bay thought about the match, any inside information he knows, his reactions to everything? He's like, you need to make a reaction channel of Chubby Dudley watching ECW. And I was like, oh my God, you are a fucking genius. Like, this is amazing. Yeah. So I started it, and I'm doing match by match, going through ECW, and I'm not pulling any punches. If it sucks, I'm the first one. I was the first match in ECW TV history. It sucks. So I'm not going to be, pulling anything. I'm going to be open and honest about whoever it is. I don't give a shit. But people, which is mind-blowing to me, are huge fans of the Eastern era of ECW.
Oh, really? Interesting.
So I was getting people constantly asking me questions and messaging me and emailing me. And so then I was like, I've been doing celebrity interviews for the last 10 years. I've done over 1,000 celebrity interviews. Why don't I start interviewing the ECW guys?
Yeah.
So a few months ago, I started tracking down guys and reaching out and starting to do these interviews. And, they're true, typical live, like we are, live shoot interviews. And, some will go an hour, some will go 2 hours. I had Stevie Wonderful, who nobody's seen or heard from in 30 plus years, 5.5 hours.
That's awesome. And look, I love, obviously, all the guys that do a lot of interviews, RVD, all these guys. But I think there's something special when you find someone who hasn't, done a lot of interviews,
Yeah.
because you're going to hear all these stories that haven't been, heard before. I think that's a
Yeah,
lot of fun.
and these guys, I mean, these are guys too that have not been heard from in 30 years.
Yeah.
So they're first off, they're shocked that anybody gives a shit. They're very happy and excited to be partaking in this. And also too, like I have a lot of cool ideas on things I'm going to be doing with the channel and with the guys, and you're going to start seeing, I've been doing the one-on-ones, but I'm going to start doing multiples at once. So I'm going to start doing that, and we're going to have a lot of fun with it. So, and it's been fun. It's been emotional. It's been a very emotional ride too. I'll say, because like usually we're sitting there as we're doing these interviews and we're drinking, and like when I did Tony Stetson, I've known Tony. Tony was one of my teachers in wrestling school. I've known Tony for 30 years now, 30 plus years, 35 years almost. He was drinking rum. Like the first hour he's okay. The second hour he's a little tipsy. The third hour he's pretty much shit faced. And at one point he literally said he would have sliced Todd Gordon's throat. Like,
not to laugh at that, but it's very
like he's like, before I found God, I would have sliced his throat. Now I would just pray for him.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, like
that. But... I just want to say it's funny that when people talk about Paul Heyman, Todd Gordon, like either they really love them or there are stories about like they would like to kill them. So it's very weird.
It's there's never a right down the middle with either one of those guys.
Yeah.
It's truly a love-hate, and you know what? Like, I have no hate for either one of them. I love what Paul has done in his career. First off, what Paul did with ECW is still, like you said, it's just there's such an emotional tie to that, and I have so many emotional ties to that. Being there from very early on, from working behind the scenes, being the original ECW original. That was a huge part of my life, a very important, huge part of my life. And it taught me life. It really did. It taught me how to conduct myself in life, in and out of the ring as a person. And it taught me so much. And I made some lifelong good friends. And 30 years later, I'm more popular now, 30 years after Chubby Dudley was in ECW, than ever before. And I'm having a fucking blast. And I'm making more friends now between YouTube and my Facebook page. And I never would have thought, like, I got 200 new fucking likes on Facebook in the last couple weeks. Like, what? Like, okay, thank you. I'm just blown away and so honored and just having a blast. I'm like trying to build a whole community of just mutual love of ECW, the world of pro wrestling, having just a great fucking time in life, and just let's have fun. Life's too short.
I agree, and there's so many wrestling podcasts out there, and that's cool and all, but there are many of them, and everyone will know which one. They really focus on being very negative, and I'm sure that could be entertaining for some people, but I get tired of that. And years ago I got really sick, and as you get older, it's like, do I want to dwell on something just negative all the time? No, I'd rather come on here and, like you said, share your love of wrestling or whatever.
Yeah, man. I did the negative thing for years, and it got me fucking nowhere. It got me depressed and not in a good place in life. And I flipped a switch in my life 5 years ago, and I refuse. Like, people say to me every day, like, Hey, how's your day? It's fucking great. I'm having a great fucking day. I'm having a great fucking life. I refuse to have a bad fucking day. No matter what it is, because let's face it, at some point during your day, you're gonna have something bad happen. Who gives a fuck? Fucking throw it away. Move on
Yeah.
because it's going to get good again.
Mhm.
Fuck it.
Yeah. I was going to say when you said about being honest about watching the ECW shows and if the matches suck or whatever, and I always think about that when people will say like, I'll say, "Oh wow, that show is really entertaining." They say, "Well, this match sucked." I'm like, I don't think I've ever watched a wrestling show that was consistently every single segment was great. Like I loved the NWA when I was a kid. I loved ECW. I loved all these different things, and there was lots of really bad stuff and all that stuff. You know,
Yeah, totally.
I even kind of like that about wrestling. I like some of the stuff that I think's not very good. It's
I mean,
entertaining on some level.
exactly.
And sure, did you have some not all of them are great, but do you have some questions from the Facebook page?
Yes, I cannot vouch for all of them, but
All right.
Christian Calero, also known as Mighty Lexar, he wants to know if they could add another Dudley to the mix, who would it be and what their name would be?
Studley Dudley. He should have. It should have happened. There should have been a Studley Dudley.
I'm all about Studley Dudley.
I know it sounds like a perfect name and everything, and they just nixed it from the get-go.
You might rename interest. No, we don't want to steal your gimmick.
No, we can't do that. I don't want to do that.
I just want to say quick. Jay did find that card.
Oh, okay.
It was Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania. So I don't think you were listed on here, but it was the Pitbulls versus JT Smith and Dino Sendov. JT Smith versus Hack Myers. The Dudleys. So I guess you would have been probably that for the Dudleys versus Gangstas, Eliminators versus Mikey Whipwreck and 911, Sandman versus Conan, Tommy Dreamer versus Too Cold Scorpio, Public Enemy versus Raven and Steve Richards. Double table.
What is that? 10-6. Yeah, 10-6-95. I had it be there.
By the way, Hack Myers.
Okay. So wait a minute. So Dudley, and DW. I fucking guarantee I was there. It was probably the.
Oh yes, it would have been. Yeah, it would have been like the early Dudley.
So it was early Dudleys. I bet you that might have been. I bet you it might have been like my second or third week as a Dudley, because the first time I went to Jim Thorpe, DW, his fucking lights went out in his car, and he followed me back to Philly with no fucking lights on, and that was the fucking show.
Yeah.
So I was there. I guarantee I was there. And I don't even remember that incident. So to me, that it tells me that incident was not that bad.
Yeah. The Shaw of ECW, Hack Myers, named there. Shaw was Hack Myers is a really fun guest. We had him on the show, and he passed away pretty young. But I don't know if you had any stories with Hack Myers.
No, he was a dude that was just so fucking over, man.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't believe. Yeah, I couldn't believe how over he was, and I was always like so pumped and excited for him because he was a guy from Maryland who just kind of caught lightning in a bottle over something.
Yeah,
stupid.
it was. He wasn't
like.
Yeah, it was just like this organic thing. The crowd started chanting Shaw, and like we're into him. Like he wasn't really pushed or anything. It just they got into him.
Yeah. And it's funny. I just recently saw the match he had with Sabu when Sabu came back, and it wasn't a bad match. He got some stuff in, and it was a fun little match, and it was just unbelievable how over he was.
Mm-hmm. What was the other one? Did I interrupt you, Intro, while you were?
Oh no, I was just going to ask another one. Tony Uberstar, he wants to know: did he ever feel like his gimmick was a rib on somebody?
No, that's a good question. That's a very good question. No, you know what? It's funny he asked that question because number one, I always felt my gimmick was under fucking utilized. I mean, let's face it, I was the first wrestling foodie gimmick. That could have been, there could have been so much done with my fucking gimmick that was not done, and they could have did what he said. They could have pulled shoots on people, they could have made fun of God knows whoever in the wrestling business with my gimmick.
Is there any other good ones? I know there's some that we probably don't need to ask, but
Oh, come on! Now
you can if you want. Yeah,
You got me curious now.
That's the thing. I'm trying to weed through them as I
maybe scared.
You can ask ones that are ask one of the weird ones if you want interest. You would.
Okay, Jonathan Jackson. He wants to know: have you ever talked to Vince McMahon, and what are your impressions of him, and then and now?
I never met Vince McMahon. Never been in the same, room or situation where I had the opportunity to meet him. I think Vince, on one hand, is a fucking inspirational genius, and on the other hand, I feel he's the biggest piece of shit walking.
Yeah,
I think he's just a complete fucking scumbag.
Yeah. Here's a funky one. Tyler Stevens, he wants to know, would Jack and Incher make a good Dudley?
Would who?
Me and Incher. Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to have really long hair, so maybe back then, but yeah.
Who needs fucking hair now? Come on.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. We're all past the fucking hair point.
It is much easier. I know that.
Yeah, that's for sure. You don't have to wake up and worry about your hair going everywhere.
That's why I cut it. Somebody just asked me this past weekend. They're like, "Do you miss having all your long hair?" I'm like, "No." I used to spend 15 minutes just washing my hair every day.
Yeah, and when you travel, it used to be a big pain, like to wash. And then if they didn't have, if you forgot like conditioner or whatever, now I don't have to worry about any of that.
Pain in the ass.
Yeah.
You had that one conditioner or whatever that turned your eyebrow.
Yeah, when we were
color.
it was at a convention.
Doubletree.
No, I used the soap that was in the hotel room, and it turned my eyebrows. They like bleached them out. My eyebrows turned blonde. Yeah. It was not a good look.
Okay.
It was very weird. No, nothing else, not the beard or anything or the hair. It was just the eyebrows.
Just the eyebrows.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's fucking weird.
I swear I didn't put nothing in the bathroom or at all.
I can't believe that for a minute. It had to be you.
Very weird, yeah. Yeah, it could be interesting.
But if I did anything, it would have turned your beard and everything else like.
Yeah, that's what was very. The whole thing was weird, but you would think like, because it was the soap, and so it would have at least turned the mustache and beard blonde, not just the eyebrows.
Right? Yeah, that's weird. That is so weird.
Dobbs Dean Mia, he wants to know, what are Chubby Dudley's favorite snacks to eat?
Ooh. Well, since my heart attacks a few weeks ago, my snacks are banana chips.
No.
Everything I'm eating is like low sodium. But if you have a Trader Joe's near you, okay, I just got them this past weekend, and they are absolutely fucking mind-blowingly incredible. They are cheesecake like ice cream cones. They're 4 in a box, and they're like this big. I couldn't believe how fucking good they were. I thought they were going to suck, and they were so fucking good. And we were just saying a little while ago, I have to go back to Trader Joe's and get more because they were amazing. So
yeah, now you gotta start eating hummus and carrot sticks.
I love hummus.
I like hummus too.
I'll tell you what, that when I went up for that convention in Rhode Island, the night before the convention, I was sitting in the bar. I had some friends from a band that live up there, and they came out to hang out with me. We were sitting in the bar drinking, and I was eating hummus in the bar.
Yeah, it's good. I changed my diet a few years ago when I got very sick, and I didn't know if I'd like it, but it is something I really like a lot of hummus. And you
Hummus
can
is
get all
awesome.
different flavors. And,
Yeah.
was there anything else, Intro, that was worth asking? I appreciate everyone who sent in questions, but I know some of them were.
Yeah, there's a lot of like yeah.
And it's not you; it's our fans.
Wait, come on.
Who we love, the
what,
Headyverse. We've named our community the Headyverse. We love
when you say what does that mean? What are they about?
Well, there's one that's about our AI character who has an obsession about a female
It's like an
listener named
in-joke
Rachel, and
that
we're not
doesn't
even
really
sure who
exist.
she is.
Yeah.
So I don't know how I'm going to convey this question to you.
Yeah,
So.
it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Yeah,
yeah.
unless you're really into it. Yeah, you have to be part of the show.
I can't. Yeah, that was a.
But yeah, our Terry Funk was one of our favorite guests. He named our fans idiots, punks, perverts, and fools. So we'll always come.
That's a hell of a mixture.
Yeah. Terry was great. Well, this has been very fun. Where can we mentioned a bunch of times, but where can people find your show on YouTube and Facebook?
YouTube and Facebook at Chubby Dudley Official.
All right, very cool. And I recommend it. Not just because you're here. I like to hear interviews with people that. I mean, I love ECW, and it's cool to hear from people that you don't hear from all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It is. I don't even. I don't have anybody lined up. I'm not going to say who it was, but I reached out to somebody the other day, and it's somebody who I've known, for 30 plus years, and they tried to get me to pay them. I was like, yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah.
So I'm like I'm almost now like, do I really want to go down this path now and start one by one asking people and getting this now?
That had to be very disheartening because you've known them for so long.
Yeah.
And then they're like, give me some money to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a obviously sometimes people we don't know and they ask whatever, but the one guy, I didn't want to say his name, but we had him on the show in the early, and he even called my house back in the day and talked to my mom and stuff. So it was really weird. Like he was like asking for $500, and I was just like, what the hell, man?
Well, I had somebody who I had interviewed on my old show on Total Gym Radio who was involved in other forms of entertainment. And she got involved in the wrestling business. And as she was training, she used to like message me for advice and all this stuff and everything. And when she debuted, she was making a buzz with her name and all because of her prior entertainment experience. I reached out to her. I said, "Hey," I said, let's do a new interview now that you're, in the business and all. And she's like, sends me over a price list. I said, well, what the fuck is this? She said, I charge for podcast. I said, charge who? She's like, that's my rate for doing podcast. I said, I'm me. I've interviewed you multiple times for multiple hours. You want to charge me after you asked me for advice in the business?
Yeah.
How about? And I said to her, how about go fuck yourself? And I was immediately deleted as a friend on Facebook.
Yeah. That's unfortunate, but I understand. But anyway, and then if it's not interviews, you can also see you talk about go over these matches, and that's a fun time too.
Yeah. I just put a new episode out last night, and it was a tag match. It was the fabulous Shane Douglas teamed up with Magnificent Morocco against Stan Hansen and Tito Santana. It's a hell of a fucking match.
Nice. Yeah. People know Eastern Championship had a lot of the legends were in there.
Yeah.
The only guy that used to ask us for money before, like currently, and we used to talk about on the show just because it was entertaining to us, was Virgil. And we would see him all the time. He's very nice to us, but we would at conventions we'd try to get an interview with him, and he'd always say, couple minutes, couple dollars. And then he's like, this guy over here, he's going to give me $10,000 for 10 minutes. I'm like, yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure he was.
Couple minutes, couple dollars. That should be a T-shirt.
Yeah, it was a great saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was cool though. We like R.I.P. to
Yeah,
Virgil.
rest in peace, Virgil.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is very fun, and we should do it again sometime.
Absolutely, man. Thank you, guys. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. Thanks to all the crazy fans out there asking your wild questions.
Yeah, it's a good time. And stay healthy. We want you to be around a while.
You too. Keep eating that hummus.
Thank you. I like it. I do.
Hey.
All right.
Take care, guys.
See ya. Bye.
Later.
All right. That was very good. I think Intra's bailed on me. What's going on here? But we'll maybe we'll go to a quick break here, and then we'll come back. I took Ray out of here, Chubby Dudley, just because, or Bay, I'm sorry, because sometimes it's awkward because they don't know how to leave, and then it's just that everyone feels bad. And now it's awkward because my co-host is gone. But I have to let everyone know I'm not going to do a very late show tonight because I have to get up very early in the morning.
How early is early?
I have an 8 o'clock appointment, doctor's appointment.
I see. Sorry, my cat was driving me nuts, and I'm like, "Come on, I'm trying to do an interview up here." Yeah, there he is right now.
So I did not ask for questions for the Headyverse tonight because I figured it would make the show like super late.
Oh, I see. Come on,
So
dude.
anything you want to go over before we take some calls here?
Jack, I do have something, and I'm going to go get it out of the other room.
All right.
This is going to be something that I'm going to hate to admit, but I do think it will be amusing for the show. And anyways, let me go get it real quick.
All right. So we're waiting for Inchman. Hey, by the way, while we do this, I wasn't going to show this on the show, but I've been practicing to use nunchucks for a movie role. So I have let's see here. We'll do this is day 2. Oh, give me 1 second. Let me load it up. This is day 2 of Jackie Jones nunchuck training. Day 2. Now, you got to keep that in mind. Day 2. It's not, I haven't been doing this for months or years. This is day 2 of nunchuck training. So we've got the outer orbital, inner orbital, outer, inner, infinite. Then we've got I didn't know what else to show here. So then we've got Bruce Lee triangle.
Mm-hmm. I just call that the figure 8, but infinite makes sense.
And then there's a little catch and release here. So there you go. I think 2 days pretty good. I think that's pretty good after just
Pretty
2
good.
days training.
Pretty good.
All right.
Alrighty, Jackie Jones. I went to GameStop the other day because I already had the Kenny Omega as a Kuma figure from GameStop.
Right.
And I thought, well, maybe I'll go there and I'll see if they have the Matt and Nick Jackson figures at GameStop.
GameStop has a lot of AEW wrestling, guys. That's
Mhm.
where I used to buy stuff.
Yeah.
But my GameStop closed. I used to go to.
These are actually exclusive to GameStop. And I did get the Nick Jackson figure. And I was fully expecting to pay for the next figure. But, and I don't mean to make this person mad, I swear to God, these were on clearance, and I got this figure for $0.00.
Whoa.
And the person is none other than...
Oh, man! He was on clearance for nothing?
I think it was maybe a buy one get one free deal.
CM Punk, are you listening to this? Are you watching this, CM Punk?
I even have the receipt if somebody wants to contest me on this. And
The only thing worse is if they were like, we will give you money if you take this off our hands.
like here, let me read it right here. Let's see. Can I just like block out my
I think you should just give out all your information.
Maybe I can just block out my information there and show the receipt. You see how it says?
Yeah, so it was
Matt.
Wow, the other one, that's really cheap too, $10.
It was $10, yeah. And then do you see where it says zero?
Yeah. $0. Damn.
It did have a sticker price, so maybe it said $8.97. Was $14.98. But maybe it I don't know, but I was fully expecting to pay that price. And I got the the Hangman Page figure for $0.
Damn. I gotta get this exit. So man. CM Punk! He's sitting there with a big smile on his face.
I hate to admit
Page,
it. I don't enjoy that I am admitting that right now.
He's gonna come beat some ass.
But it is the truth. I mean, I even showed the receipt. So I got the Matt Jackson for what they were asking. Which here's what it was at. Here's the Matt Jackson. It was on clearance too. So it was $9.97.
Yeah, you can get a lot of good deals, not just on AEW figures, though. People think it's just a game store, but I used to stop there and get cool figures all the time.
But yes, I'm sorry, Hangman Page. I love Hangman Page, and I don't want to, but yeah.
Man, Inches
is
over
what it
here,
is.
locking up to Hangman Page.
I'm sorry.
After totally burying the man.
But it's the truth. I was fully expecting to pay for both of those, but apparently it was like a promo price where you bought one and got another one free.
So you and the Flea both have the Young Bucks sneakers.
Do you want me to get them?
Yeah, Troy's wearing his. He's wearing them yesterday when we.
That's the thing. I purchased mine. And I told a certain somebody I wasn't going to buy them because I wasn't crazy about the their logo, the face logo on the bottom. I was like, I'm not too crazy about that. But I watched the pay-per-view later on, and I had so much fun watching that pay-per-view. I was like, yeah, and the shoes are like $170 was the price they had listed before they actually went on sale.
Right.
And then I went to look it up, and they were like $130. And I was like, damn, I think I got to do that. So I purchased a pair. So I'll go get them again. I should have grabbed those while I grabbed the other thing. But I'll be right back.
All right. Yeah, my brother got a pair. He loves them. I think they look really cool. It was weird because I heard, Cornette saying that they were like Fruit Loopy, but I mean, they're less colorful than most sneakers. They're black with a little bit of color on the I get he's biased and stuff, but anyway, they're cool. I would get them, but I'm very picky on my sneakers because I walk a lot, so I get sneakers for walking, not for the looks, for the go, not for the show. But yeah, they look cool to me. They look good to me. I dig them. And I applaud Inter for getting them. I probably would have kept mine in the box too. But yeah, my brother got them and he's wearing them all around. He's loving them. He said the pump doesn't. He says the pump he thinks is just a gimmick. It doesn't really do anything.
He doesn't think it works at all.
I mean, it works, but he says he doesn't feel it do anything.
Oh well, even back in the day, I don't think they just kind of squeeze your foot more.
Yeah.
Whenever you. But yeah, they got a nice box, and let's see.
Jay, good walking sneakers, 100% New Balance for me. That's primarily what I get, New Balance. There's also a couple other ones, but I'm not sure names of them offhand. But New
And
Balance, number one.
the person that I told that I was not going to buy them, when I revealed to them that I purchased these shoes, they said, "That is an embarrassment."
I think they're cool.
They're not even your style, and I'm embarrassed that you bought them. And I was like, "Oh, okay."
I think they're cool. I
Should
like
I
them.
wear them?
Yeah, go ahead. It's
It
up to
was-
you. It's up to you. I could see
it-
either way. I could see just keeping them in the box as a collectible or wearing them, whichever you prefer.
It was Jujubee, by the way, that person. So. Here's the
Yeah,
other
Troy's
one.
wearing his, but they're definitely the kind of sneakers Troy would wear anyway. So.
I haven't looked. At
What
this
I was
one.
saying while you're gone, Cornette was saying they're like so Fruit Loopy, like gay looking, but I'm like, they're less colorful than most sneakers.
Yeah, I mean they just got the. They
They
got
just have
that.
a little bit
I mean,
on them. I mean, if you've ever been to a sneaker store, most sneakers are way more colorful.
Yeah, they're pretty black. I mean,
Yeah, they're all black except for with like some trim of other colors. But most sneakers are way more colorful. Is what I'm saying.
I haven't even tried them on or anything, so I'm not sure if I should.
Yeah, it's up to you. I could see either way. If you want to keep them, I'd keep them pristine.
They got a little the old school window thing.
Are you gonna put a bunch of tacks on them?
Super kicky with them?
Super kick party! Now I'm glad you said so. Troy and I did In Your Head last week, and we reviewed the pay-per-view, and we both loved it. We had a great time, and so I was glad that you enjoyed it well. I mean, look, I think AEW always delivers on the pay-per-views. That one had some wild stuff on it.
Yeah, most definitely. The ending, that last match.
Yeah.
That was just insane. It was so great. I mean, that Darby Allin setting Jack Perry on fire.
Yeah. and I thought they did it well because people are like, oh, it came out with Joe, but I don't want the guy to burn up. But they did it well though because they set it up. They threw him in the bucket of water. So he comes out like he's all wet. It's good.
She's in the chat and she says ugly shoes.
Damn, I think they're cool. I like them. I mean, mine are just straight up black, but I like them. These are my shoes.
There you go. But like typically this is my style. This is what I'm wearing around. That's just that's the Doc Martin.
Oh man, that's the boot man.
Those I wear like they spoiled me. They've made me where I don't want to tie my shoes anymore. So I just slip them on.
Do you know how to tie shoes?
You really have to ask me that right now.
I'm sorry.
On the show.
On the spot.
Yes, I know how to tie shoes, but so yeah, I just haven't worn them or anything yet. But
I think they look good, honestly. I think they look good. They're good shoes. I'd wear them.
Would you take this figure for 0.0? Do you have this one? I know you don't like his shirt.
Yeah, I don't have that one, but yeah, I would buy any wrestling figure for $0 probably.
Out of the package, would you buy any figure?
Yeah, actually, some of the ones I kind of wish I had a couple because I don't know how they even move. I've never had any of the modern wrestling figures out of the box.
Mm-hmm.
So anyone wants to send me some wrestling figures out of the box, you can get them cheap. I don't care. I would like to play with them, to be honest. I'd like to see how they move anyway.
Yeah.
The thing is, when I grew up, wrestling toys were almost unplayable. Like the big rubber WWF guys. You'd go like this, but you really couldn't do stuff with them. Those Hasbro WWF ones. And then the most playable ones were the Remco AWA guys who were built like He-Man guys. They were the ones you could actually play with. And then like I found out, I wasn't the only one since I was on the internet. I found this out. A lot of people did this, but I used the G.I. Joes for wrestling because they had the points of articulation. And they were great. But so many other wrestling toys today have so much points of articulation. They can move all around. And I always think, man, I wish I had these when I was a kid. It would have been a lot more fun. But I buy them and I keep them in the package. And it's like, I'd like to open some of these and play. I'm not saying I'm going to sit here and have matches, but I would like to just see how they move around. Like, give guys suplexes, that kind of stuff. See how they work out.
Mm-hmm.
So if anyone wants to send me some, they can be anybody. I don't care.
For real.
Co says I could totally picture Tony Atlas filling a shoe full of mayonnaise and using it as a fleshlight. Well, women only. Why let them rot in the box?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I'm not a shoe collector, so it's like, what?
Well, they're your shoes, so it's up to you. Do you want to wear them or do you want to keep them as a collectible? It's up to you.
Yeah, but it's like I do have a pair of shoes that have kind of like dry rotted, but I had them like when I was a little kid. So, and I'm like 43 now, so it's like, but so it's like I know shoes do have a shelf life. So it's like
Troy and I went to a shoe store a couple weeks ago, and it was for collectibles, which is weird. It's people collect sneakers. Like you couldn't even try them on; they were in bags. Like old Air Jordans and stuff.
Mm.
But I think that's cool that they made sneakers, and they have belts for them too. Are you going to get the belts?
Oh, they have a belt?
Yeah, they have belts that you they go around the back of the sneakers, and then you put the belt through the laces so they don't fall off. So you have like championship belts for your sneakers.
I might not do the belt, but
they're pretty cool.
How much are those?
I don't know. I don't know.
Are they sold out? Is this the first like wrestling people who's ever had a shoe endorsement?
I guess Roman Reigns did recently, but I think before that, probably, I don't know. I might grab this picture of these belts. Yeah, I think they're actually pretty cool, to be honest.
Well,
and I like that they go around. They go through the laces, so you can't just they won't just fall off.
Mm-hmm. I was shamed for purchasing a pair. So,
well, there's lots of things to shame you for. So, I'm just kidding. I've got a sense of humor,
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. I'll grab this up. So here are the sneaker belts. They go around the back, and then the lace part that you would do in the back of your belt, they go in the front, and you put the laces through
them. But it covers up the Young Bucks part. Like that's the only part that says Young Bucks is on the back.
I think you could put them on any sneaker.
Okay, so just any sneaker can be used with that, as long as it has laces.
Right. So you could just buy because they show a pair of just white sneakers, and then you could. That's what you can make like your title belts, your title sneakers. See.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be pretty cool. We need some in your head ones. Then Intra and I could just walk around as the champs. By the way, Intra, hit that like button. You like the interview, hit the like button. Subscribe, share this out, leave some comments. And if you would like to help support the show, join the Headyverse. It starts only $3 a month. Or you can Venmo up here, Headyverse. And if you Venmo $5 more, I will send you a sticker as a thank you.
Yeah, no sneakers.
No. Ray Bagney, Bay Ragney, who is Chubby Dudley, just said thank you, had a great time. So thank you. He was a cool guest. All right. We're not going to answer these questions, Lexar. I don't have that much time, but if you want to video in, you can do so.
Video in.
Yeah.
Speak with us.
We're not going to stay long.
Mm-hmm. You can ask your question in person.
Right. But don't start sending a bunch of questions here.
Yeah. No list of questions.
Right.
Or
This
we'll
is a wrestling question, so I will answer this one. Becky Lynch is now a free agent. Will she go to AEW? I think absolutely not. She, if she was going to keep wrestling, I mean, that's a person that would have no reason to leave the WWE. And I think she has a kid, and then she's just going to take time off. And I'm sure Cornette will be pissed. Like, what are you doing trying to have families and stuff?
Yeah, really.
Your whole life should be nothing but wrestling. She's done it all. I mean, if she wants to come back, she can. If not, I mean, there's nothing else for her to do. She's main evented everything, won all the titles and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But, once her kid's, a year or so, I don't know. It's all up to her, whatever she wants to do. But I do not see her going to AEW.
Does she really want to be around when this whole Vince McMahon thing is really busting loose? Like I believe it's probably about to do.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
the federal and government has asked Janelle Grant to pause her.
Yeah, and so some people took that as like a different way, but what it is the criminal charges take priority. So she's pausing her civil case while the federal government investigates Vince, which that could lead to actual, criminal charges, which would lead, if he's found guilty, to prison time. And people, for this last year said that was an impossibility, but it's looking like that's not an impossibility.
Mm-hmm.
And he should, if he committed like crimes. I mean, I know we live in an age right now where if it's someone you like, you think they should be above crime. They should be above the law, but not to name any names, but yeah. All righty. Coast to coast. What's up, my buddy, my pal, my amigo, my compadre?
I saw Raw Monday.
Really? Holy shit!
This is Stevie. Stevie, we should be paying you for these Raw reports, man, because just having it on the background was arduous. And you have to actually study it and dissect it to like put out a coherent report. Oh, Lord help you.
Don't get any ideas, Stevie. We don't pay wrestlers.
Man,
Stop giving him ideas there, Coach.
Pardon my apologies.
So I guess Coach was not a big fan of Raw. Enter told me
I don't know.
I haven't watched it. My bad, man.
I guess I'm just an Indies guy. I really love the Indies, but yeah, it's just too polished and sterile for me, the whole WWE thing.
Lexi, sexy, flexy, Lexi, what's on your mind?
I went to the indie show. Speaking of indies, I went to GCW last
Game Changer?
last Saturday. Yep.
I saw
Tournament
your
of
video.
Survival.
I saw the video where you had the guy who was getting hit with the light bulbs, and then he popped up and he started like hitting the other guy with the light bulbs. And, it looked
Exactly.
pretty crazy.
Jump in the ring?
I mean, should I just like join the fun, smash people with light tubes, get hit with light tubes?
Yeah, like catch the tubes with your face. Just like,
You want to? Do you think you would make a good deathmatch wrestler?
No,
Why not?
I'm a crybaby.
oh, that'd be the best in a death match. That'd be so like.
I think that would be a good gimmick if you just you just start crying. And you're like, no, don't hit me.
Yeah, like be like a screaming Norman Smiley. Remember?
Yeah,
I remember him.
Just
like
get hit
Ric
with
Flair,
light tubes,
just like-
No. Just get hit with light tubes. Just scream like a little girl.
Have you ever hit someone with a light tube?
No. I'll tell you this though. Many years ago, I threw like glass bottles at the road because after my incident with my leg, I was pissed
Oh
off.
yeah,
And
I hope that heals up soon.
it already healed up, but at the height of it, right afterwards, um, my leg was about to be healed, and my physical therapist says like you need to walk more, and you get exercise and all that stuff. So I walk, and there's this empty it's during the daytime, and there's like nobody on. It's like middle of the afternoon. There's like a rural area. There's nobody there, and there's like a few glass bottles there. And I took one of the glass bottles and I threw it in the road, and I accidentally hit a car with it. And it
Damn.
broke.
Did
Yeah,
the car like go off the road and like blow up or something?
No, it hit the glass, the front window, a million pieces.
Damn.
So I just got the hell out of there, just ran. But there's nobody there. It's empty. Middle of the afternoon too, daylight.
Oh, so it wasn't like moving? The car wasn't like going? It was a parked car.
It's a parked car. Nobody
Oh,
there.
damn. Easy target.
Mhm.
Damn.
It's a
You
rural
threw
neighborhood.
You
It's like
threw it at a parked car?
I was trying to hit the road with it and see the glass bottle shatter into a million pieces, but my aim was too strong, and I hit the glass, the windshield of the car, and it broke into a million
You're
pieces.
so powerful that you just blew up a car.
The wind caught it.
Juju B says doesn't sound like an accident if you just threw it.
I don't think so either.
That's what physical therapy does. Like it works on your
makes you
legs,
blow
but
up
also
cars?
yes. They work on my arms too for some odd reason. Like they think it's my leg, but they also think it's like damage other parts of my body. Okay, so you're gonna lift these dumbbells up, these 5-pound dumbbells. Try to lift them up. Lift them up. So there you go.
Damn.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right.
All right. So
How's the leg doing?
Yeah,
When do you
been
think
doing
you'll be
fine.
able to walk again?
I already am walking.
Oh.
It's been walking. You remember
against doctor's orders? Or?
My leg's been repaired.
His leg just faces backwards now, though. It just looks weird, but it works. Whoa.
I found a video of this incident.
Well, it didn't explode. Just the windshield shatters.
Did you call the cops or anything?
No.
You shattered the whole windshield?
Mhm.
I don't know. This doesn't sound on the up and up. You had to do more than just throw a bottle to shatter a whole windshield.
It's a beer bottle.
You sure you didn't have like a bazooka or something?
No.
Like some dynamite?
ECW dynamite.
Yes, you threw the show at it. Oh man. All right. What's on your mind, Brucey?
Not much. I was making a video earlier and I ran across that Goldberg eats corn the long way.
Whoa.
Like I'd never heard that before, and
That's how Intra eats mud.
That was just a sign, Bruce. Just one of those fan signs in the 90s.
I know. One of my ideas for like an art gallery show, just like a one-off show, would be like collecting signs from different wrestling shows and just like putting the funniest or coolest ones up You know, like the "you can't see me" hand or
Mhm.
something. I think that'd be fun. But
Today's fan signs are not as funny as the signs from the late '90s and early '80s, and early 2000s rather. But today, if you're lucky, you get to find like a few funny things, but they're all video game related. Like Final Fantasy VIII is trash
Well,
or
weird.
something like that.
that's funny to you?
That's what the fans think. Final Fantasy VIII is trash. They have some type of Dragon Ball Z reference. Bunch of video game nerds signs.
Dragon Ball Z is my favorite wrestler. He rules.
Interest in the
Mhm.
Dragon Ball. Are you into Dragon? Actually, my brother is a big Dragon Ball Z.
No, I've never been a Dragon Ball Z person.
I like Dragon Ball Z. Sorry.
Yeah.
There's like the mayor or something, and he's a professional wrestler or something, or like the president. He's like a president or like a leader of some kind. But he used to be a president, or but like everyone else is way stronger than him because he's just like a fake wrestler. So pretty funny.
Man. Any of you guys eat corn the long way? He's not happy.
Nice.
Here, this is how you eat corn the long way, apparently.
That's awesome.
Corn
I
on
live
the
in Iowa. There's a lot of corn. So
Yeah, you maybe that's how you can make some money, Lexar. You could start eating corn the long way on OnlyFans.
I don't think the girls will like that though.
No, but some fellas might.
Right, fellas.
farmersonly.com, man.
Mm-hmm.
Or like
All
a pig
right.
nose. Sorry.
I think Stevie took off. What's going on with Stevie?
He's under his wife's control. No more hard point.
Remote
He starts
control.
jumping for joy.
Do you think does Stevie's wife watch Raw? Does she ever make him stop watching Raw?
Now that's the punishment to watch Raw.
No, maybe. And then eventually he just learned to love it. It's like the old saying, you gotta eat shit and learn to love it.
That's what she
Sizzles.
withholds if he's bad.
Lexar, did you like Raw? Incher was telling me about it, and apparently Coast is not a big fan.
It's your average Raw. Your average day of Raw.
Which is not. That don't sound good to me. But
Yeah,
if you did.
You know, they show highlights of Liv Morgan making out with Dominic Mysterio, and the story continue. Like
Did you
Dominic
get
had to.
Did you get little Chubby in the pantaloons when you saw that?
Well, Liv Morgan is pretty hot. She's a Jersey girl, so she's pretty good looking.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So
I heard
there's
she
like-
worked at Hooters.
yeah, no.
Is there anywhere where she would be from where you would say she was not good looking?
But I'll tell you what, though, I did
found
go
out
to
she was
Hooters.
from Idaho.
I did go to Hooters. I did go to Hooters before I went to the strip clubs. Before my brother introduced me to the strip clubs, I go to Hooters.
You used to
And if
jack
I-
off
if-
at the Hooters?
No. If I knew where Liv worked in the Hooters, that's somewhere in Jersey, I probably went to that same Hooters location and had the Hooter girls
She
like
wasn't-
sing me happy birthday or something.
She wasn't famous then, though. You wouldn't have
I know.
known she was like a wrestler.
I know.
You're
I
like
know,
10
she
years
was just
older than her, too.
I
That's
know.
creepy, man. I'm joking.
Please. I've been called a creep dozens of times, so it doesn't bother me.
He is impervious to your creep word.
Besides in your head, where else do people call you a creep?
Online on Twitter.
Yeah, Jay Bradbury here in the chat room. He said, I used to go to the Hooters she worked at. So he's been there.
See?
Mm-hmm.
Man.
What do you
That's
think
hot.
about that?
You want to hear something real creepy? Missy Hyatt
What?
used to date Jim Ross.
Why is that creepy?
I don't know. It sounds creepy to me. Jim Ross and Missy Hyatt used to date each other. And 2 years after Ross, the wife passed, they started dating. And according
2
to Missy,
years? That's not like 2 days or something. Was he
He
supposed to just
rocked-
be alone for the rest of his life?
he rocked her world and she rocked his. So
Hell
there you
yeah,
go.
good for them, I say. What's wrong with that? I don't think that's creepy.
I don't think. I don't know if they're still together though.
No.
Are they?
No. She also said that your boy Val Venus has a small penis.
Oh yeah, he picked a fight with Nick Gage online on Twitter.
Whoa.
Uh-oh.
And then
Match
someone
of the
cussed.
century, Val Venus versus Nick Gage.
Is that when she said he had a small penis? Like that's when it came out?
No, it was
Just
in
to
her
like
book.
get a dig? Oh.
But she did. She recently said that people. I don't know if you noticed, Sincher. She had she was in WWF for like a week back in like '87, and anyway, she did an interview and said now what happened was she was there and Vince tried to make a move on her in the hotel room.
Yeah, I heard about that. I don't doubt it.
I don't either, and I think it would also explain why her run was so
She
short.
wasn't there for so long.
Yeah.
Mm.
What are you gonna do, Lexar, if your boy Vince McMahon goes to court, for criminal charges?
I protests outside, just like the way Trump supporters support Trump outside the courtroom.
Free Vince McMahon.
Yeah,
Dude,
free
get
Vince
on the
McMahon.
news. Get on the news,
Regardless
Lexar.
regardless if he's guilty or innocent, you're just gonna protest.
Yeah, I'll be on the local New York news, probably CNN.
You gonna throw
Yeah.
bottles like you did at that car that exploded?
Well, maybe I should. I'll probably get arrested, but probably serve no jail time. I just stay only 30 minutes in jail and get the hell out. Because that's how New York is.
It's just up to
Intro.
you how long you stay there. It's like,
The voice of reason has gone out the window. Lexar's totally gonna do it now.
Jobs, a guy who casually talks about sexually assaulting women, says that two consenting adults dating is creepy. Yeah.
I was gonna tell him to bring a sign that says Goldberg eats corn the long way or something. That'd be cool.
So
To the courthouse.
How was the wrestling show, Lexar?
It was good. Lots of light tubes, glass, barbed wire. Mhm. And my favorite death match wrestler won. And
Who's
before
that?
the show,
Bigfoot?
I was hoping. I told him, I hope you win. And he said, "Oh, thank you very much." Shook my hand and everything, and
Who
he
was
won.
that? Who was it?
John Wayne Murdoch.
John. I never heard of him. I never
Google
heard
it.
you bring him up before.
Watch it. Watch deathmatch wrestling.
That's not
Then
Trevor
you understand.
Murdoch, is it?
No, I think they're not related.
What's Trevor's Murdoch's name now? What does he go by? I forget. I know he's in NWA. Oh.
He looks exactly the same to me too.
Yeah, he looks pretty much the same that he did when he was on WWE.
That was like 20 years ago.
So what is it about this guy you like, Lexar? He really knows how to throw a light tube, or
He knows how to he knows how to wrestle and knows how to use light tubes and there you go. That's him.
that's Lexar's hero.
Whoa.
Looks like he could be related to Trevor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
He grew a larger beard
He
now.
looks like
He's
that guy who sang that song about the men east of Virginia, where the hell it is.
Huh.
What is that song?
Oh, Richmond, north of Richmond.
Yeah. That's who that guy looks
Yeah.
I'm not even familiar with this song.
It's this guy talking about Washington D.C. and how the country's going to hell, and all that, MAGA stuff.
Jay says that deathmatch wrestling and nobody dies. Is that false advertising?
Nick Gage was close to dying though. He sliced an artery during a death match.
Yeah,
And
he almost killed the actor there from Scream.
David Arquette.
Yeah, David
Mhm.
Arquette. So, what if the Headyverse paid your way to wrestling school? You wouldn't try to become a deathmatch wrestler?
no, maybe Goosey should try it, but because he was a wrestler.
That's true. Man, what would your name be?
Wrestling
if you became
hurts,
a
bro.
wrestler?
I'd do it. I would do it.
Oh yeah, because he Bruce's goes as a
Bruce is gonna do it. Are you gonna
Yeah.
become a deathmatch wrestler, Bruce?
I'd do it.
You gonna start
I-
wrestling?
yeah.
I used
Lex
to.
would be pumped.
I had a job where, like, it was my job one day to take down all those light tubes and replace them. So I had to throw away like 50 light tubes. So me and my coworkers were doing light tube duels, and like, I inhaled so much light tube dust that day. So
Yeah,
I could
Oh
handle
man,
it.
your lungs.
I'm sure.
I
healthy.
would suggest. Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, I don't think that dust is healthy for you. That's one thing about
Well-
Lexar's clip that made me worry.
Yeah,
Maybe like all that dust in the air.
yeah. My brother used to, when he worked at a school, there was a lot of guidelines to when you if one would bust or break, because like that gas, the dust and stuff in it is harmful.
And you get little tiny shards of glass in with the dust.
Yeah. You ever jump
That
in there,
pink stuff.
Lexar, and like start snorting up the glass dust?
No,
Do, like,
because it
nine
like
of it?
floats. It like floats in the air. It just
Do you like
So,
run
uh,
through it? It's like
no.
it's like the smell of death match.
I was seated way far back. I got 8th row, so I could barely smell it. I don't think there is an odor. Maybe there is, but it's probably if it does, it probably smells like dust.
Do you ever get do you ever go in there and like swipe up some of the blood and like bring it home? You could be like, ever watch your show Dexter, and he would keep like the little bit of blood off his victims and like the little vial things. You could start doing that and have like a collection of deathmatch wrestler blood.
No, maybe we should like collect like the shards of light tubes and glass, and put them in
Yeah,
a jar.
that'd be cool. And then you could just sprinkle them all over your floor like the canvas.
Mhm.
Mhm. Speaking of canvas, I asked the promoter if I could have another one. He said, "Oh, sure."
Hell yeah.
He gave it to you, or did you buy
Yeah,
it?
not yet, but he told me like I maybe at the next show because they're going to Asbury Park in August. So
And
So
Bam
probably-
Bigelow.
mhm. So yeah, he told me I'll
What are you
probably
gonna do
give
with
it to
this
you.
one? You're gonna put it in the basement?
No, it's gonna probably be in my room.
Hey,
I
use
guess.
it as a comforter.
Yeah, that'd be good. You should just wrap it up and sleep in it.
You can make a quilt.
Make a
Get your
hammock.
mom to make a
His
quilt.
cat just like put
Hammock.
its ass in his face.
He's tried.
I was looking up, I just saw like total ass in Incher's face. It's pretty cool.
He's very hyper right now, and he won't
See?
stop.
Your whole floor is gonna be covered in wrestling canvases.
Yeah, maybe I should. I'm trying to find a WCW ring canvas so I could put it in my like whole floor.
How are you gonna
But it's
buy
very
it?
hard
How are
to
you gonna
find.
pay for it?
I don't know. Maybe I should get a loan from a bank.
Maybe you can rent them out, and that's how you could pay for them.
You ever try to rob a bank? Don't
Like
don't
put it
do this. I
like
know
put on a
Incher-
layaway. So you want me to become like Nick Gage and like rob a bank?
Yeah, maybe you could ask her for some pointers.
Yeah, like go a beer like Nick Cage and like dress up like
Pizza
them.
cutter.
Mm-hmm.
You think you could rob a bank with a pizza cutter?
Well, they say not to resist, no matter you
Hmm.
just give the money up.
All right. Don't give it. Don't. We better not. We better not give Flexer any ideas.
But it's like, I mean, you're pretty much caught as soon as you come in the front door. I mean, they know how tall you are, and you're not going to get away with it. I mean, you will be caught. So
And most banks like have security now, armed security. So
yeah,
I don't think it's very impossible to do it. No, very impossible to
What
like
would you miss the
steal money
most
from
if
banks.
you were locked up in prison?
Watching the Impact channel,
I
I
would
think you
miss.
could do that in there.
strip clubs.
I would miss being here every Tuesday night
Hell
in
yeah.
your head. Mhm.
He could shove a phone up his ass and call in.
Damn.
We could shove a phone up his ass.
You case it in.
So like,
That's
so
the inside turn.
mhm. So if like if like one of the CEOs was going to walk by, you'd have to like suitcase it again real fast. So like that's just essentially having somebody on your show that's like shoving a phone up their ass.
And the screen would just be like that.
Don't give him ideas. I don't want to watch a police cam of someone robbing with light tubes and a pizza cutter, or do I? That'd be pretty rocking. All right, yeah, but don't rob banks, Lixar. Don't go commit crimes for money. Don't go robbing people or anything like that.
Just get money the old-fashioned way. Work.
Oh, I think you can become a prostitute.
No.
That's
Have
the
you,
oldest
since
stuff.
you're so fond of strip clubs, Lexar, have you ever thought about working in a strip club yourself?
I did ask the manager one time that if I could work at a strip club, and like
They say
he
like
said,
bend
sorry,
over, then
we'll.
show me the goods.
He said, sorry, we're full, but we don't have any applications at this
I didn't
time.
mean like that kind of strip club. I meant like a male strip club. Like you could go be a stripper.
Yeah, start
There
giving
are no
lap
male.
dances.
The only male strip clubs I think are in Las Vegas and New Orleans.
Maybe you should start one. You can start giving lap dances to old
Females.
men and stuff.
Like bus station bathrooms and stuff. Like, that's a good place.
Like a glory hole where you get like like you put money into it.
Jack, what if you walked into your bathroom and you
Like
caught
Greyhound.
Lexar giving a man a lap dance? What would you do?
I would pull out my phone and fucking start live streaming it. That'd be awesome. I'd be like, holy shit, it's a dream come true.
I don't have enough clout on YouTube to live stream stuff yet. I don't have enough points.
Oh,
Sucks.
Man, that'd be great. That'd be the
Yeah.
greatest.
This one isn't going to be monetized.
Oh, man. I know Nikhil was sad I didn't put up questions. He said, what the hell am I going to do tomorrow? But we'll be back next week with a full show, taking all the questions,
Exactly.
good, bad, and ugly. But I don't know. Anything else, Itchman? I think we should wrap it up. I'd like to go to sleep so I can get up very early.
Oh, just one last thing. I think tonight's show is in your head all night. Yeah.
Booyah! So, hey, I can leave this on while I go to sleep.
No, that's all right.
All right, because I was
Maybe
gonna let,
Steven's camel lit.
I was gonna
stay
let
on.
him do the raw report, but he ain't here. So
Would we hear you like snoring or whatever? Would you just be like,
no, I'd be upstairs in a totally different room, so I don't think you'd hear me.
Just bring the camera, then just bring your whole computer to your room.
No, I could just leave this go, and you guys can stay on. But
You'll be just an intro show.
just-
Intro. You could play the theme song from last week.
hell yeah, it was not the theme intro. It was not. I didn't play it as the theme song.
What was it? The one about me enjoying wrestling so much?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
those are
one.
good tunes.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Man, that's good.
Just realize he wrote the lyrics to all of that. So,
That's pretty impressive, don't you think? I'm glad you're giving me, the props I deserve.
Man,
Not only am I a lyrical master, and now I'm becoming like a friggin' ninja lord.
that's crazy.
Let's start beating Incher with nunchucks.
no, impossible. I'm a nunchuck master.
Are you immune to nunchucks? Incher's gonna come after me with his Young Buck sneakers all decked out in thumbtacks.
Give you a super kick.
Super kick party!
He would do the whole John Cena pumping up the sneakers thing. His gimmick.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we'll be back next week, Inch Daddy, talking about the wrestling. So thank you guys. Sorry, short show, but I don't know why they made my appointment so damn early.
That was a cool interview, though.
Get over with.
Thank you, Bruce. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brucey. I thought it was really
fun.
cool too. I'll try to get some more folks on. But as you can tell, people think I'm just lying when I say this every week. Incher. About like these guys want the moolah, but you can see even a guy that they know, they've been in the business with, they shared locker rooms with, they've known the man for decades, and they're still like, give me the money.
I think I know who it was, but I ain't going to say. But that would be very disappointing if you tried to ask one of your friends from way
It's
back.
bad enough, I think, when I ask someone that's been on the show before, then they want. But someone like they actually shared a locker room with, and like we're like, like friends with, that's like crazy.
Yeah, that would suck.
That's pretty bad.
So now Jackie Jones ain't lying. He ain't making excuses. That's the way the podcast and the wrestling podcasting world works at the moment. So why we're not, don't have a ton of guests on the show.
They just don't have love for wrestling that's so strong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, I think that song's growing on you.
And like strong lips and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I like that part.
Why can't they be sucking on their love of wrestling?
You need to flesh this out.
Flesh.
Like that's not very worked in very well at all. Like sucking on it so long.
So good. So good.
It's not one of your better works.
You should work in like oily men with veiny chests or something.
Man, someone posted a tattoo that Intra and I are gonna get on the group. I can't show it on the show or be kicked off YouTube.
Is it more of a Cody Rhodes or a MJF tattoo?
It's a docking tattoo, and Intra and I were gonna get it right on our fist, each one, and then when we meet up, we can fist bump and we can like dog, tat dog.
Wow, that's gross.
Oh yeah.
Pretty sweet.
Hell yeah. That'll be awesome. Do it up, Incher. Do it up.
No, I'm not doing
Yes.
Lexar.
I do think we should all get matching in your head tattoos, though. Lexar would be into that, right, Lexar?
Yeah, just use that old brand that you have.
Actually, Geraldine is wanting to meet up in Buffalo, and she wants me to brand her.
What?
Should I do this?
No, that's probably illegal.
I'd probably watch a YouTube video about it before or something. At least.
That's probably something Vince McMahon would have done.
I could see that. He said brand.
Yeah.
Like call somebody maybe first.
Your ass better call somebody.
All right. before we go, one last round here. Any question for us? Coast.
Yeah, I was just going to comment on what you were talking about a couple of minutes earlier, and it made me think about something you posted a while back, years ago. It was the Rougeaus against the Bushwhackers,
Oh yeah.
and while he was body slamming the other one, I was like, wow, I can't believe I didn't notice that when I was watching that back in the
I
day.
agree.
Oh, my brain just canceled that out, I guess.
Yeah.
What, they shit themselves or something?
No, one was body slamming the other, and he gripped him a handful of that old bushwhacker door or that Rougeau dog, I guess.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I was like, I can't believe I didn't notice that back in the day.
Like Jacques
Go figure.
was kind of a jerk. It seemed he was like getting into, I don't know, in the ring you could tell he was like really like smacking people around. So
I like Jacques, but I've never worked with him. But I do have a question about that, Coast. Now, if someone's got you up for the body slam, so you're in there, you're giving your body to them. So in that position, you're all vulnerable. You can land on your head, and you start grabbing their ding dong. They might, intentionally or unintentionally drop you. So I don't know how smart it was of the bushwhackers to start doing the dong rub at that point.
Yeah, maybe it was.
Even you'd be like, whoa, and you'd even drop him by accident, and then he would have landed right on top of his head.
Yeah, like a Brock Lesnar and that Holly guy.
Yeah, what a dumbass!
Yeah.
Of all people, like I'm gonna show this guy I'm fucking tough.
He nearly put him. He nearly ended him.
Oh my damn neck!
It's like, well,
that was so
thinking,
fucked
Bob?
up.
This ain't exactly the blue beanie here.
Dong touching is a part of pro wrestling.
Yeah, I bet the bushwhacker guy held on. If you hold on, then you can't. Like,
you gotta hold on.
Yeah, you can't let go. Yeah, or he will drop you on your head. You gotta grab.
Yeah, when Intra and I was for wrestling, what was that?
Oh, nothing. Go ahead.
All right. What was your question, Bruce?
Being that you're starring as a blonde in your new movie, do blondes really have more fun?
Well, we'll find out soon because I'll probably be shooting the trailer in the coming weeks, maybe next week, and then we will find out from there.
Oh, and how'd you retract and pop your hair out like that? Like,
because I'm so manly and I'm so devoted to acting, I actually grow the hair out when it's time to do the role.
That's insane. Okay, that was my other question. Okay, Thank you.
What do you think about that, Lexar?
Did
you know I got
like
a nice blonde pompadour mullet?
Just for men hair.
No, it's I did not use any hair dye at all. Actually, I stopped using Just for Men on the beard too quite a while ago. What is on your mind? Do you have a question for us, Mr.
Yes.
Lexar?
Yeah, so tonight on Vice, I think it already aired, but they're starting a 4-part docu-series about the death of WCW. Who killed WCW? But it's not WWE produced. It is produced by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and he said that it's going to be the real story of the death of WCW, not the way the WWE told it.
Right.
And it also airs never before seen footage of the last day of Nitro, the whole day.
Oh, that's interesting.
From start to finish.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that is weird.
The thing is, I've seen people posting like, "Oh, it was turned," but a lot of these things that they're saying now is some kind of new revelation is stuff that pretty much everyone has said for the last 25 years.
Yeah. I know in Brian Alvarez's book he wrote with R.D. Reynolds, there is a name that they give, and I forget what it is. I'd have to look at the book to figure it out. But
But it's basically that they canceled the
mhm.
programming is what
TV,
killed it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
It
they thought
wasn't like, and for some reason it is like it's presented out there in the world that like Alvarez and Meltzer and stuff say that like Bischoff and Russo killed it, but they never have said that. They've always said that it, it was
they would have
just
gone
like
on.
that
It was
they
like an
canceled.
executive that they
Yeah.
you don't even know their name.
Right.
And so I would
But-
have to look in the book to figure it out. But I did read it a long time ago, like when it first came out.
It's interesting that they'll have some, people involved and like they'll show some new footage, but it is a topic that like I've just heard so much about. It's,
Well, maybe because The Rock has such a big stake in WWE now, and that
yeah, just
company-
because right, and the idea that you just say this is the real reason doesn't mean it is. I mean, anyone
Well-
could just say this is the real reason. Like, holy shit! Well, it has to be then since he said it.
like all of that footage is owned by WWE. So
Right.
like he needs to steer the narrative for the new generation, and this is who's watching this. I'm getting conspiracy here, but anyway.
No, I don't think it's any of these things, Jay. Honestly, I think it came down to it still was doing ratings and stuff, and it was just the executives didn't want it on the TV,
Yeah.
and so they canceled it. And because they were going to sell it, there was multiple people who were going to pay a big money for it. In fact, Bischoff and his group were going to pay a lot of money and had all these plans for it. But without the TV, there was nothing really to buy. So
Yeah.
What if it comes down to
There's
the last?
that helped, facilitate it going, the ratings dropping and stuff like that, but not the actual death of the company.
What if it comes down to the last episode? And The Rock comes on and he's like, "I'm about to reveal the name of the person who killed WCW."
He's got it like in an envelope.
And then he's like, "Doo," and he's like, "It's me because I'm so damn good." And
Damn.
he's just like, I was in the other company and I just killed their ratings.
What if they blame Tony Khan?
It was Tony Khan, who wasn't even in the wrestling business.
Yeah, it shows a picture of him in like playing soccer and as a kid or something.
Yeah, he was
He's
great.
on-
He was in college.
He's on a message board.
Yeah.
I think it was a Loch Ness monster.
I think it was.
That's from Bullshit or Not on.
It's
Amazon.
probably PN News.
Damn, he supposedly stole money like back. He would go through people's stuff and steal.
Allegedly.
He was like blackballed.
Allegedly.
He was on our show. He's a pretty cool guy. He passed away, didn't he? Not long ago.
I don't know. I'm just still saying allegedly.
All right, he allegedly passed away not long ago.
No, not that.
Oh,
Stealing money allegedly.
right. Yeah,
I get SD Jones and PN News mixed up.
they're not much alike at all.
I know it's bad. So I'm thinking SD Jones.
When you first said that, I thought you said STD Jones. That would be a good. Maybe that could be a wrestling gimmick, Lexar. STD Jones.
He starts out really strong, but then he just deteriorates
Then
really
no
quickly.
one will want to make you bleed because you're like filled with STDs.
The Undertaker would run in fear. He'd be like, "What the hell?"
That would be a good gimmick. I did ask
Yeah,
Homie Jimmy to do the show not too long ago.
Who was that?
Homeless Jimmy.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, he's the current XPW Deathmatch champion now. I saw him win the belt last February.
Oh, cool. I always liked him in XPW back in the day.
So, and they're having a show later this month. So if I go, and if he's on the card, I'll ask him, "Hey, are you going to do a
Do it.
podcast anytime soon?"
Do it. Say do in your head. And then if he says
In your
no,
head.
kick him right in the balls.
Well, I won't do that. I won't do to a deathmatch legend.
Go outside and throw a bomb and not whatever you threw into that car to make it explode.
Beer bottle.
Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm just kidding.
Maybe I should throw those big wine bottles. That'll be great.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah, you should definitely go and throw wine bottles at people. Seems like a good plan. Again, as Incher says, don't do this. Don't do this. We
Don't do it.
Especially when I'm talking to Lexer, he might actually do this, and I don't know.
I hear the older you get, the more lenient they are on you. Because, well,
Probably to a point. It's probably like when you're if you're like underage, it's more lenient. But then like
it's kind of a curve.
Yeah.
You have to be really old, I guess, Lexar. So
they don't want to ruin a young person's life. But I think you're at the age now that they would throw the book at you.
Throw the book at you, yeah. That's kind of the joke I was trying to make, but it just kind of sounded weird. But yeah, don't do it. They'll screw with you really bad
He's
now.
old enough that he knows better, and
should have known better.
But, he's got much time left, so like, fuck you, bitch, and they just throw you right into the big house and
the stripy hole.
Then you're joining a gang, getting tattooed. It's a life. It's a bad life. Like, are you making shanks?
Forcing you to drink toilet wine.
Exactly.
Give gang signs.
Yeah. You'll be people will be selling you around to the
don't throw gang signs.
What if Lexar is like the complete opposite? He's like the gang leader.
He'll be like that movie Shot Caller. He'll just go right up the ranks and be leading the gang.
He's just
What was that movie with Rob Schneider in it, where he went to prison and kicked everybody's butt and turned it around or something?
I don't know. Ready? John wants to call in, but we're actually wrapping up because I have to get up really early. So
we love you, Ready.
Yeah,
Luddite, you're the man.
So next week, do it up. This week, Thursday, I'll be back for Without Your Head. It'll be me and probably Terrible Troy. Annabelle is taking a leave of absence from the program, although we did do a dinner and a movie this weekend. 2 of them. But, so yeah, you can check that out. Annabelle and I reviewed Darkman, the 35mm midnight screening of Darkman, the 1990 film, Sam Raimi movie. And we also reviewed 2 new movies. I saw The TV Glow and In a Violent Nature, which is something that Incher would probably be interested in checking out.
Oh, wow.
It's a new slasher film.
Excellent.
Let's check those out.
What time did you end up going to sleep that after that midnight showing?
Not till that we were out till after 6 a.m. and then I took the bus home and she drove home. So I didn't get
Oh wow.
I don't know about 10 a.m.
Oh wow.
I was up 24 hours.
Man, Jack Bauer.
Boom! Ah!
Yeah.
Just so much of a man, Lexar. I can stay up for days. I used to be able to stay up for days. 24 hours isn't too bad. I can still do that.
I stood up 24 hours last Saturday before I went to
usually
ECW.
You're on the show and you start going, "Oh, I'm so sleepy. I gotta go to a show in 3 weeks. I gotta go to sleep."
I took a shower and then I got dressed up and then I took 3 or 4 trains.
Shower? Holy shit.
Yeah. 3 or 4 trains to Atlantic City.
Dang.
Went to the
Take
casino.
a shower before you're getting some trains. I think
there's
appreciate that.
Yeah, it smelled nice and clean. The wrestling show because we hear like all these.
After 4 trains, you're gonna need another shower though.
Yeah, after inhaling all that dust from the light tubes and blood and
Cabooses everywhere.
You got it.
Well, I'm glad you had a good time, Lexar. riding that train, high on cocaine.
Casey Jones, you better watch your speed. Trouble ahead, trouble behind.
Don't
you know that notion
just crossed my
mind?
mind.
You should do a duet. You should do
Hell
a duet
yeah.
on make a song about it.
I agree. Intra and I are next time we're together in person because it's a little hard because they're even though you don't really hear it when you're trying to in sync, there's a little bit, we're not quite together. Next time we're together in person, Intra and I are going to do a duet. What would be the perfect duet? This will be the last question of the night. What would be the perfect duet for me and Intra to sing together?
Sonny and Cher, I got you, babe.
I got you, babe. We could work on the lyric.
Yeah, I've got you, babe.
Now you just have to figure out who's Sonny and who's Cher.
In your head, I got you. Yeah, this would be good. I like that. That's a good choice, Bruce. I think Bruce wins.
I used to do that song with a girl for like years.
Ooh.
We never dated, but we always sang that song at karaoke together.
Jay says Ebony and Ivory. That's probably be more than me and Coast. Oh. Ebony,
It's a good song. I love that song.
Ivory go together in perfect harmony. Side by side on my piano keyboard.
God damn.
Lord, why don't we?
Well, since we're doing the Rocky Road thing, we can just do another one by "The Girl Is Mine." John Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson. You can be Michael.
Are you saying I'm Michael Jackson?
No, I'd be Paul McCartney and Jackie Jones would be Michael Jackson.
What's a trio? Do they have any trio songs?
Da da da.
All right. I was going to go to sleep. If you want to do a quick Raw report?
Oh, yeah. When I do a quick Raw report, here's a quick Raw report for you. Drew McIntyre shows up long enough to get chokeslammed through a table by Damian Priest. Braun Breaker spears Ricochet right in front of Samantha Irvin. Sami Zayn gets beat up again. And Liv Morgan looks smoking hot. That's about all you need to know about Raw.
There you go.
There you go.
I think Coast must have been right. Must not have been a particularly exciting show.
I got to go to bed, folks.
Good night, Steve. You're a good man. Good to see you.
Good night.
Good night. All right. We're going to get out of here, folks. I had a good time. Thanks, everyone, for checking out the show. We'll be back next week. Maybe we're going to have a full look. That's kind of weird now with Dancing with Dudley in the middle there. Maybe we'll have a full version of the tune that Intra's loving.
The Boys of Summer.
The Boys of Summer.
Shouldn't there be another person you write a song about?
All right. Well, who? Okay, Intra, since you're a good sport with that song, who do you think the next Jackie Jones, Battle of Fans, Master
Baby Snake Ass Master?
Damn! The Bruce is loose.
Bruce.
Yes.
Maybe an ode to the whole Headyverse, but I like that. The Bruce.
Like a Beach Boys have a lot of like multiple harmonies with maybe 3 to 4 people.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so they have like multiple.
Master.
You know what would be a good use of AI? I'm gonna make. What if the Beach Boys did accept Charles Manson into the group, and then we just made tunes.
Ooh. Brian Wilson and him would have like go crazy.
There's a really interesting documentary about that though. He was trying to do stuff with them. It's interesting, but that's good use of there is no good use of AI though. I guess I don't know, but it's here, so we can't pretend that it's going to go away. Totally clip to the heart. That's a good one. by our boy Pepe Petit. He want to know, Lexar, did you take extra underwear?
It's not a strip club.
Maybe he just thinks you get so excited at the wrestling. Have you ever been so excited at wrestling that you soiled your pants?
Not really.
Do you ever get erect at like a hardcore match?
No. I think I was a little bit erect during WrestleMania 20 though, when there was like the Playboy evening gown match between Sable and Tori Wilson against Stacy Keibler and Miss Jackie.
Damn.
If you watch that match in full, you know what I mean.
Damn. Were you watching with your mom? Did your
I was
mom
there by
watch
myself.
wrestling?
She doesn't like it that much. She'll probably watch it and she just like close her eyes like this and like ooh and do all those like weird faces and all that stuff.
All right. She ever go to the she ever go to death matches with you?
No, I did show her that what I showed her online and she looked at it and she's like, ew. She always make faces. Ooh, making all these faces and like getting hit with light tubes, again throwing off scaffolds onto like flaming tables with glass.
Yeah. She just drops him off and picks him up. She doesn't go in.
It's not even that. I just like.
I'm joking. I had to say it.
That was in high school though.
I'm sorry.
All right, so we're gonna take off. We'll be back next week. It's been a fun show. I enjoyed talking to everybody, and it's just a regular checkup. It's not even a checkup. It's my checkups in November. I just have to go in to renew my prescriptions, and they wouldn't let me do it without going in for some reason.
No.
But all right,
So that's all you're getting. You're just going in and out.
I really don't know. That's what I assume. I don't know why they just don't do the checkup as well, because my checkup really just consists of checking my.
Maybe they're trying to trick you.
Maybe they're gonna push a button and you're gonna fall through the floor.
You come out and they slap a straight jacket on you, and you're like, not great.
Oh shit!
Sweeney Todd.
They put plenty of injection needles all over your body.
Damn, you guys are dark.
Paper cut like the sides of your lips, in between your fingers.
Incher, if you found that you had the power of Freddy Krueger to visit the Headyverse in their dreams, what would you do to the Headyverse members in the dreams?
Jeez.
Tickle them? Do the Vinnie Mac like poop on their heads?
I'd probably like visit Lexar and like put him under his own like canvas. Like, there you go, Lexar. Now you're the floor.
That's pretty awesome.
Then like no sell it and like hook up and like do the whole like Hulk Hogan thing.
That's not how this works.
You'll just see him get a boner through it.
How's the Lexar no selling my Freddy?
I know.
That's
that wouldn't be very good. Friday 13th. I mean, Nightmare on Elm Street movies. The kids just no sell.
They just no sell and beat Freddy's ass.
Like this is boring.
I'm so creepy. Oh, what are you doing?
Actually, could be a good short now that I think about it, like a short film. All right, let's get out of here, guys. We'll be back next week. See ya.
Andre the Giant. Andre was big. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was not small. No, no, no. Andre could drink and he could fight. Drink, drink, drink. And a fight, fight, fight. Andre was big. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was not small. No, no, no. Andre could drink and he could fight. Drink, drink, drink. And a fight, fight, fight. Andre the Giant. Andre was big, yeah, yeah, yeah. It was not small, no, no, no. Andre was great, he was not bad. A great big heart and a great big man. Andre was big, yeah, yeah, yeah. It was not small, no, no, no. Andre could drink and he could fight. Drink, 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 and fight, fight, fight. Andre the Giant.
From Grenoble, France.
Booyaka! All right, we're getting out of here. This is a quick post credit. It's like one of those half-assed MCU movies when you just get like a Howard the Duck
Couple seconds.
Yeah, and you're like, what the hell? I sat through 20 minutes of credits for that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Well, hope everything goes well for you tomorrow.
Thank
and
you.
I will see you on Without Your Head.
Thank you. And by the way, I forgot to say this, and it's very important. Thanks to our producers, El Santos World, Josh Richards, Brian Matthew Clutter, and my boy, Coast LPA. Ha!
Yay.
You talked about the amazing blonde hairs. Very soon, there will be a crowdfunder to help fund Arbor Day. So that'll be fun.
Cool. All right, Jack. And in your head and the Headyverse, I will see you guys later.
Bye.